Hello, everybody, and I'm back here in the Phantom Zone. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in YouTube entertainment today, Mr. General Zod. And welcome, everybody, to the weeknight talks. We'll be having the bridge crew coming through little by little, but I kind of wanted to kick things off, get the ball rolling, and all of that. And we have a awesome show planned here tonight. A lot of stuff has been going on. Man, a lot of stuff. It's been interesting actually working through the week and then doing my live stream on the weekends because so much stuff happens through the week. A lot of stuff that I don't get a chance to talk about. And then I kind of get to save it all up and do a great weekend show. So it's been awesome watching this whole thing unfold. So yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. Tonight, uh, I'm gonna be talking about this thing going on with shows and movies and people in general all of the sudden coming out and things being canceled because of this whole thing going on, these whole chicanery shenanigans going on with the Black Lives Matters, George Floyd, all of these different things going on that is kind of the newest thing because we're just kind of getting out of the mist of this corona. We're getting out of the mist of the zombie pandemic, and now we're going into the midst of people acting like fucking idiots, calling for cancellations on everything. I'm gonna go through some articles of various people being attacked for comments or children's books, companies that are under fire now for things. I mean, we got Adidas and several other places. People are really going nuts after this, honestly. It is like everything that is deemed offensive is pretty much anything. So there we go. It's Mr. Pop Culture PB. Welcome.
What's up, man? I was told not to be late, so I figured I'd show up a casual 3 minutes late.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Did you bring your white guilt with you tonight?
I brought all of it. I got a boatload.
So tonight we're going to be tackling a bunch of different things, but it's mostly going to be centered around one theme, one topic, and that is the
Twilight?
well, that's a little side topic. There's
I
a
know,
lot of
my
guilt.
wife looked at me cockeyed when I told her, I think we're talking about Twilight on the show tonight.
No, it's gonna be more of the regret of doing that movie and where are they now? Very few people escape that.
Oh, I would guess that they are cashing their dividend checks.
Some of them.
I mean, all of them. It's just what percentage you get. I don't fucking know exactly how it works. That's what it means to be a fucking actor.
Oh, we're gonna talk about actors too and their wacky statements. It's gonna be a great night, but most of the topic is gonna be centered around this new trend, this new uh this new thing that companies seem to be doing, which is that they are catering to all of this nonsense with the Black Lives Matters movement, things are getting pulled, things are getting canceled, uh, and
Ooh, they're
companies.
catering. Like they're catering cheese?
No, there's no food.
Oh, wrong type of catering. Fucking English.
I would say catering wouldn't be an accurate word. I would more call it pandering to the nonsense that we've been hearing.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of pandering, and I don't mean like pandas. I mean kissing ass, brown nosing, sticking your head up someone's ass. That kind of a deal.
Interesting.
But let's talk about the first thing. Didn't get a chance to talk about. Saw a wonderful video by the Lonely Banter on the subject. Just
Ooh, interesting. I'm
yes.
not sure what the first subject's going to be. I was going to
Our,
send the tweet out for the stream to let everybody know that I was talking with the general live on the internet to the world.
you definitely should do that. The world should know. So,
It's like
the
everybody and their mother's doing a stream tonight, hey?
I know I figured like this was really weird. I'm like, there's some kind of conspiracy, like everybody's streaming at the exact same time. But you know what? They'll all jump in because no one goes as long as we do.
I mean, that's true.
And tonight's gonna be a long talk. So we're
Like
gonna
if it
dive into the
lasts more than 4 hours, you don't have to call your doctor because you're just laughing.
So the very first topic we're gonna get into, and this is one I didn't get a chance to cover, and everyone and their mother had a different take, and I'm gonna give my opinion on this, but Gone with the Wind, an American classic. The quintessential movie. When you think great movies, this is one of those movies that it doesn't matter even now to this day. You bring up Gone with the Wind, even one of those fucking weirdos will know what you're talking about. Kids that don't watch movies. It's an iconic film. Um, and the irony of why they canceled this is not lost on me. Uh, there were various reasons. The biggest one is the depiction of slavery, but um,
Oh
they
no.
also yeah, they also uh did a thing too with the objectification of women or a woman in general. Granted, if you watch the movie, the woman was a bitch, and the dude got fucking tired of her shit. And I mean, classic iconic line. That line where he's at the stairs, he's finally had enough of her shit, and it's a line every guy dreams of delivering when you're getting ready to break it off. And she's like, "Come back. Where are you going?" She goes, "I need you. I love you." And he goes, "Simply, my dear, I don't give a damn." I was like, like he didn't have to swear. There wasn't a lot of cursing monologue you'd get in a new movie. It was just simple to the point, and that bitch's feelings was hurt. It was a great movie. Um, there was also a lot
Yeah,
of
hurt that
themes.
bitch's feelings. Nobody gives a fuck about her.
And here's the weird part about this before I jump in the article is
Oh
that
god.
Gone with the Wind is one of those ones where it's based around the Civil War. So here's the thing. You have to depict slavery in this film because it is about the Civil War. And it's not necessarily condoning one thing or the other, or even taking one side or the other, because the movie isn't about that, which is the thing that baffles my mind about them pulling the movie, is the fact that they're saying, oh, they're gonna put this big thing, HBO Max, and they're gonna explain the realities and shit like that. It's like the movie is not just based around slavery and necessarily Civil War. The movie is a love story that's based about this love through the Civil War, the woman losing everything. She had everything, and then the war happened, and she lost everything. And she's with the rich guy, and how they deal with this war torn kind of society. I mean,
So I got a quick
he,
question for you.
yeah,
Did you I gotta make sure I say this appropriately. Did you hashtag the letter A because it has the symbol and after it for A and E?
yeah. Unfortunately, the hashtag doesn't include the "and" for some reason.
Fucking tard. Unbelievable.
And then I just put A&E, and it didn't recognize it. It did like AE. I, I'm like, how the fuck are you supposed to hashtag this thing? Like A&E, get with the program here. Put your little thing in the hashtag database. I don't know what the fuck to do here, so I just put the cops thing, but the I said fuck it. I sent it out. I said fuck it. I mean, at least I hashtag the shit out of it. So you know, winning.
I have no idea how you hashtag A and E at all. Not one
No,
goddamn clue. But I sure as
no,
fuck ain't hashtagging the letter A.
I was like, well, whatever. But no,
Unbelievable. Okay, continue.
but no, Gone with the Wind is the epitome of what people actually should be watching. And here's the thing I didn't know that LB enlightened me on was that actress who plays the and I'm doing air quotes slave, right, in the movie, she was the first black actress to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, win Best Supporting Actress, first black Best Supporting Actress, yada, yada, yada. And it's like they're taking away the achievements by doing this. The whole point of doing this is to recognize the atrocities and blah, 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 blah. And at the same time, they are snubbing a black actress of her accomplishments by
They
pulling this film.
don't care about that. Only the
But
narrative matters.
but according to the narrative, it's for the black people, but you're snubbing a black actress who was the first to
It
do
doesn't
this in her
matter.
class.
It's about what you offend people. Like if you offend a person, that's fine. But if you're offending people, like a group of people, allegedly, then it's a problem. And I call total bullshit because I thought that this was America where you can offend whoever the fuck you want.
I mean, I offend people daily. I make it a
No
personal
shit.
point to offend as many people as I can. And, it's just, let's get to this article because even the article, and it comes to us from, yes, the Hollywood Reporter. So, this is going to be a really fair, objective piece on this whole thing. Oh, the fluff is real. And no, PB, I don't mean on a sandwich. The 1939 film
What the hell
has
kind of fluff do you put on a sandwich? Like
peanut butter fluff, man.
peanut butter fluff?
No,
The
peanut butter
fuck is
and
peanut butter
fluff.
fluff? Peanut
Yeah,
butter flavored marshmallow shit.
yeah.
Okay, I mean, if you say so.
Hey, it's villainous. Anyways, the 1939 film has long been considered controversial, which is bullshit because this controversy was just kicked up recently. I'm sure if we pulled back articles from back a time, they didn't mention shit, considering it was the highest grossing in its time. But anyways, considered controversial for its depiction of black people and its positive view of slavery, which once again, bullshit. This person has clearly never watched this movie because it was not a positive view on slavery. It was actually the opposite of that. It was a view on the negativity of war and the division within our country. But anyways, fuck do I know? we were watching two different movies. Gone with the Wind, the Civil War epic, is considered a classic American cinema and has been temporarily pulled from HBO Max. The move comes as the media companies reprises content in light of the nationwide protests over police brutality and systematic racism. Systematic. Oh, riveting stuff. After the death of George Floyd, a black man killed in Minnesota uh, by the police. Earlier on Tuesday, Paramount Network canceled the long running police reality show Cops because, why not? That hasn't been around forever. But, anyways, long considered controversial for its depiction of black people in its positive view of slavery.
So they
Gone with the
should be
Wind.
happy they have defunded police. There we go. It's over with. They
Yep,
cancel
good luck.
cops, man.
Gone with the Wind faced renewed scrutiny after an opt by 12 Years of Slave screenwriter, which I want to get to this part right here. So, just people think about the irony of this. The person who wrote the movie 12 Years a Slave, okay? If you've seen that movie, is an R-rated movie very graphically depicting what happens during slavery. And I understand the perspective, okay? Black writer writing about the black point of view of slavery. But this is a person who wrote a movie about slavery, calling for a movie that talks about slavery to be pulled. Does anyone see the irony besides me in this? I mean, really? I feel like
No, there's
maybe
no irony there.
I feel like maybe there was a battle and
What's up,
only
Stone
one slave.
Cold Jeremy?
What's that?
I
Oh,
said, what is up, Stone Cold Jeremy?
article pulled up. I can't see the chat. What's up, Stone Cold?
I know.
Yeah. So the irony of a person who wrote a movie about slavery, wanting a movie about slavery being pulled is not lost on anyone because he's a black writer who wrote about slavery. So he's got it coined. You can't be a white writer talking about slavery because you don't understand the hardships and the oppression and yada yada yada, et cetera, et cetera. Um,
No,
both
white
movies,
people can't be historians of slavery. Only black people can be historians of slavery because being oppressed in a modern society is apparently the same as being a slave. So you know what they went through.
even, I mean, folks, if this sounds asinine to you, join the club. It's fucking ridiculous. In the opt, Ridley called on HBO Max to consider removing Gone with the Wind so his slave movie can be the only one. Oh fuck, I'm sorry, I ad-libbed that. Uh, from its platform as the film is its own unique problem. Yes, because okay, let's just comparatively look at 12 Years of Slaves to Gone with the Wind. 12 Years a
I have
Slave.
not seen either of these movies, guy.
Okay, well I have. Gone with the Wind
No shit.
Is an American masterpiece that will be remembered forever. 12 Years a Slave was short-lived fame, and that movie is not going to be considered an American classic, and I'm sorry, just sounds like a little bit of jealousy to me. I'm sorry your film sucked. I mean, it was fucking boring. And then you get to the end and it was like, it's like every other fucking slave movie that comes out, the exact same thing over and over
Wait,
again.
isn't that the movie that won the award and then they had to take the award away from them and give it to the white people?
Yes. So someone right now has a lot of sour grapes about that. They didn't win an award. No one fucking could sit through that movie because it's a 2.5 hour fucking boring movie. And don't get me wrong, Gone with the Wind is 3 hours, but it's compelling shit. And you know why it's good? Because they just don't focus on the slavery. It's a love story. It's a drama. There's all sorts of shit going on. And that stuff just gives you context to the world, which if this person was a good writer, they would have had that. But we spent 2.5 hours in the most boring, like an hour of it was a fucking boat ride. And I'm sorry, it's fucked up, but I don't need to see a year's worth of time literally translated into film. Rowing for half of that time is not exciting at all. The movie is fucking boring. I'm sorry. Everyone who likes the movie, I'm sorry if I offend your feelings, but it's fucking boring. Okay?
Oh, so it's
It should
like
have been an hour.
Watchmen.
PB, you can kiss my ass. Watchmen is masterpiece, and Zack Snyder is God. And he's the only person who can get a Snyder cut, so uh we're gonna be coasting that victory forever. Or Snyder fans will. Anytime you argue, be like, well, we got the Snyder cut. What did you get? Anyway, it doesn't just
Like,
fall
yeah,
short.
you got it. Yeah, cool.
It doesn't just fall short in regard to representation. There's that word. It also glorifies the antebellum South. It is a film when it is not ignoring the horrors of slavery, pauses only to perpetuate some of the painful stereotypes of people of color, Ridley wrote. Fucking
Is
no
that
talent
true?
hacking. Not at all. Not in the least. Clearly this guy wrote a movie about slavery, but didn't watch Gone with the Wind. He was just pissed because a good movie got picked up over his. Because I went to HBO Max. I don't see 12 Years a Slave on there. I saw Gone with the Wind, but I didn't see his fucking film anywhere. None of the options. And they have fucking Catwoman. They have Catwoman on there.
Dude,
12
Catwoman
years.
is not like a great movie, but it's enjoyable to watch with your eyeballs.
Dude, I would definitely watch Catwoman,
What?
and I fucking hate that movie.
I am not
It is
a
terrible.
pervert. Everybody likes to look at Halle Berry. Well, you have no idea how many times I've watched Swordfish.
You probably broke that movie, but yeah, I mean, so for me,
No.
I'm just gonna for everyone else joining, we are talking about
What's up,
HBO
Stevie
removing
J?
Stevie J. What up? You got the invite, bruh, if you want to come on. But anyways, um, for everyone who's joining us, it's funny to me, and just reading this article and his statement, right, about how he talks about how Gone with the Wind legitimizes the notion of slavery and all this stuff. I felt like
What legitimizes? Like, what do you mean legitimizes? It happened.
and this is the thing, that movie does not glorify anything one way or the other. The story really is not even about the slavery. The slavery is something that's happening in the background. It is about the war, the Civil War. Slavery was what they were fighting over. So of course it's going to be in the fucking movie. But first and foremost, it is a love story and what happens to individuals that are forced to live in a harsh situation. It's not, see, they're mad about it because it's not from the black perspective, this movie. It's from the perspective of people battling each other within the war. And we can't have that because if you have a movie about slavery, it's got to be focused on the black struggle. And it's like, no, people had struggles of every culture in that war because brother versus brother. Imagine you had to fight your own brother
Right, like
across the
people
field.
were struggling to keep slavery around. It wasn't a good thing, but they were still doing it.
And you still had family members on the opposite sides of the war who virtually had to fight each other. This was the first time in American history we had brother versus brother in a debate that could have easily been won on through discussions, but they didn't want to do that. And it was a terrible, horrible thing. But the movie doesn't depict it in a positive light. I really fail to see where they could pull any evidence in that movie where they glorify slavery. I would challenge any of these top critics, any of these fucking hack pieces of shit who write these articles to find me a part in a movie where someone actively goes, yeah, you know them, they're slaves. I'm so glad we got them. My
Hey.
cotton ain't gonna pick itself. I mean, that that doesn't happen. Nowhere in
I'm
the
gonna
movie
find
does anyone say that.
I'm gonna find you a part right now to welcome the best sub that you have. Do you know who that is?
That must be, and I'm not even on the page. It's got to be Jamie Vick.
Boom. You got it. What's up, Jamie Vick?
I mean, so let's see. I'm gonna read on. Let's see if they can give us, if in anywhere in this article they give us a specific scene in the movie that they are talking about where slavery is specifically glorified. Because if it's there, and I recently watched the film, I don't remember it. So let's
On
see.
purpose?
Well. Anyways, in a statement by
I
the
don't.
Hollywood,
What the hell kind of answer? What? I
I'm a
asked you if
villain.
you
I give
watched the movie on purpose and you can't tell me yes or no?
I gave you a very Terrence answer. You're welcome.
Fucking A, you did.
Gone with the Wind is a product of its time, and it depicts some of the ethnic and racial prejudice that they have. Unfortunately, has been commonplace in American society. Oh yes, there's the racist depictions were wrong then, and it's wrong today. And we felt to keep this title without an explanation and a denouncement of those depictions would be irresponsible. Yes, they've got to, HBO Max has got to do the right thing and explain to all of us stupid fucking idiot consumers about racism. Thank you, HBO. I couldn't pick up a fucking history book. I didn't excel, even though that was probably the only thing in school I did good at. I don't know my American history, so I'm glad, HBO, I'm glad you're doing the responsible thing and you're treating us like a bunch of fucking idiots. Thank you. Off to a great start. It will return with a discussion, Jesus Christ, of the historical context and denouncement of those very depictions. But it will be present in the how it was originally created, because to do otherwise would be the same as claiming these prejudices never existed. That was the only sensible thing they said in that whole statement. If we are to create just uh, equitable and inclusive, Jesus Christ, future, we must first acknowledge and understand our history. Well, tell these kids to read a fucking book. It's there.
Dude,
Schools
that's one of
aren't
my
teaching it
trigger
anymore.
words. Inclusive, triggered to laugh. Fucking inclusive.
And
My
I'm going to
God, we're
talk about
talking
that.
about a movie.
Released in 1939, Gone with the Wind told the love story. The love story. I'm just going to highlight again because this is the main point of the movie. Love story, highlight, asterisk, star, big fucking exclamation point, of Southern aristocrats, Scarlett O'Hara and Ryard Butler, and starred Vivian Lang, Clark Gable, Haiti McDowell, Olivia D. Helvet. The film is based on the 1936 best-selling book by Margaret Mitchell that takes place in the American South on a plantation outside Atlanta in the Civil War era. Both the books and the film feature black characters who seem content and loyal to their former owners even after the abol ah, fuck this word, abolish of the abolishment, there we go, of slavery in the South. And here's the thing that people
Congratulations.
here's the thing people fail to understand too about history. Some of the slaves didn't have shitty owners. They actually liked some of their owners. They wound up staying with them even when slavery was abolished. Once again, not saying it was a great thing. It was a terrible point in history, but there were some people who weren't assholes. Because guess what? Historically, not everybody is an asshole. So, I mean, it depicts that.
Mathematically, not everybody can be an asshole. Like, just looking at the numbers.
So, I mean, when you think about it, there was points in our history, even when
Whoa,
slavery
whoa,
was
whoa, whoa, whoa,
abolished.
whoa, whoa. This is 2020. I don't want to be thinking about stuff. We're just going on emotion. Read on.
So when you're thinking about this, there were still people in history, okay, even in those horrid times. Yes, all of the slaves who were whipped, beaten, and generally treated like shit. They were like freedom. Fuck yeah. Okay? But there were some slaves that had decent owners that wound up staying with them even after these laws passed. Some of them even wound up getting their freedom through their owners, which means not everybody in the South was an asshole. Just like not everyone in the North was a great person. I mean, even
Interesting. So you're telling me that the people in the North that were fighting against slavery could still be racists?
racist is
Whoa.
fucked. I mean, okay, let's just break this down because the rest of the article is just going into bullshit about how it won an Oscar and all of that. But let's just break this down, okay? You had people uh in the North who fought for slavery and things like that, right? But if we got rid of the idea of racism and we got rid of slavery and it was a fucking utopia like the people would like you to think because they want to erase the ugly parts
like
of
them
history.
4 or 5 blocks in Seattle, the autonomous zone, or Chaz in Washington, the good spots in America. Continue.
So riddle me this, Batman. Why in the world, if this was the defining moment in history and everything was fucking cupcake and roses, why did we have the civil rights movement after that? Oh, that's right. Because no matter where the fuck you went, there was still racism. There was still people who didn't like people based upon the color of their skin. And the fact that they want to get rid of these parts in history,
Yeah, like,
that
you can be free. You just can't do nothing with your freedom. Thanks a
that
lot, people in the North. Awesome.
that was it was still an ongoing battle because even when people moved from the south to the north, they still dealt with people who they were like, yeah, you're free, just don't go into my establishment.
Just
Like,
don't go into my establishment. You gotta use the colored bathroom.
so I mean, you still had racism that exists. And look, pretending that these things don't exist is willful ignorance.
And
I mean,
especially if we're talking about a movie and the movie is supposed to take place in a time period and you're just going to omit it, oh my God, then they're going to bitch about that. They're going to be like, you didn't even show the slavery. Be like, well, you said that I wasn't showing it appropriately and I wanted to put one white person in my movie, so therefore I couldn't show any slavery. So I was just fucked. So then I took my ball and went home.
I mean, this is the problem that we're facing is that, look, these things are hot button issues right now. They're hot topics. But here's the thing. Throughout history, the only way we worked past this is to talk about these issues. And you know why the Civil War happened? Because no one fucking talked about it. Everyone just wanted to pretend it wasn't a thing. Oh, those crazy Southerners are over there doing it, but it's all right. We're free here in the North. And what the fuck happened? A civil fucking war. You want to know why? Because no one wanted to talk about it. And then Abe came along and said, people being forced to do shit because of the color of their skin. Hmm. something isn't quite right with that. Plus, the South wants to succeed from the North.
Yeah. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Martin. What a
So I
dick.
mean, so I mean, this is the thing. If we don't have these conversations, if we can't talk, if we can't watch a fucking movie in the privacy of our fucking home about a topic where we're not going to
No,
be talking to
but
anyone.
that's the problem. They don't want you to be able to watch that movie in the privacy of your own home because it glorifies the racism, allegedly. That's what they say. So then you can just sit there and revel in your racism and be like, yeah, look at when times were good, man.
Because
No,
I don't,
because
I feel
who the
like
fuck
this
is
is what
watching that movie and has that thought? I've never watched the movie, so I've never had any thoughts watching the movie. But what the fuck? Like that's ridiculous. Who's like,
I
oh
was.
man, that's when times were good, you know, when we could live in Georgia and we could get our cotton picked for free. Good times. I don't see people watching that movie for that reason.
Yeah,
Even back then, before the civil rights movement.
yeah, because this was the 30s when this movie came out. People forget too. This movie came out in the fucking 30s. This movie is really old movie, and first off, holds up pretty well for how old it is. And secondly, no guy watched this film in that time period and said slavery. Yeah, they fucking saw Clark Gable and they were like, that handsome son of a bitch gets more pussy than I'll ever see in a decade. Because even to this day, I was like, Clark Gable, that son of a bitch. I mean, and Olivia, what's her name? Fucking ridiculously hot. I just like her
Olivia
piercing blonde.
Newton-John? No?
No,
Was I
a
close?
little bit before her time.
I was close.
See, Jamie Vick. See, this is why I like Jamie Vick because she drops some knowledge right here. You want to read that?
The Civil War was about states' rights. Slavery was a small portion of the fight.
Exactly. Succession for them was more, yes, the slavery thing, we were like, nah, you can't have human beings like in your fields picking shit, bro. That ain't cool. But that wasn't the only
You
reason.
gotta pay the man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
They
like,
felt,
what do you mean pay the man? I bought him. Be like, you bought him? No, that's not appropriate. You
but
can't acquire a black man.
unless you're General Zod. But anyways,
Fuck.
um, but here's the other part of that fight that no one talks about. Here's what the fucking media doesn't talk about. The Civil War, as Jamie Vick eloquently put it, was just more about than just the slavery. It was about the government telling these states what they can and cannot do. They felt like the North was like the father figure and it was treating them like that little bastard son and was like, hey, boy, you can't do that because that ain't right. And coming in and telling them how to live their life and how to get their products and things like that. So it wasn't just about the slaves, it was about them feeling like they were being forced into a way of living that they didn't want to live. The roots for this conflict was much deeper.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
But
whoa, whoa, whoa. Terrible pun. The roots?
oh shit. Uh, but I mean, so there were more context to this, but the media is not going to tell you that. They're not going to focus on that because everything now is the
Goes
base
against
level
their
argument.
narrative.
Exactly. It's the narrative. It's the little basic. I hate that word because I think of like those Rich Valley girls,
Which
but it
word?
is basic because it is. It's really basic. People act basic. They just look at the surface level and they don't
I think
realize
you
what
hate the word basic because you were in the military.
uh don't even get me started on basic training. Oh dear God. Worst worst months of my life. But anyways, yeah, it's that people don't realize that the slavery portion and the slavery stuff, even in the movie, is a small fraction of what that movie is about. It's about the effect on everyone. It's about the effect on the people and having to fight their own families and things like that. But we don't talk about that part. No, we don't talk about the families that suffered, that they had two children and one went to fight for one side, the other went to fight for the other, and they lost both their
Oh
kids.
shit, that
Let's not
happened
talk.
in that movie?
No, but there is some stuff that happens. Like it's touch and go for our main character. It's a great
No,
movie.
like
Like
in the movie, there's no characters in the movie from the same family that have to fight against each other.
no, but if you watch this movie called North and South, there is. It's like two brothers, but they fight the opposite side of the
Okay,
war.
well, we're not talking about North and South, are we? You son of a
Well,
bitch.
asked, I was relating it to your. Oh my God. Anyways,
No, we're talking about this one movie, and you're making the point about people fighting on opposite sides. But doesn't happen in the movie. I
no,
thought you
because
were
it's centered
talking
around
about
these
the
two
story
characters.
in this movie.
The point is, though, they are separated, though. uh Clark Gable and what's her face are separated because of the war. So the separation was real. People were taking away from their significant others for this war, which was essentially against ourselves. And it's the only war in American history where we fought each other like that, except for modern times and the stupidity that we fight every day. But we're heading down that road, folks. Mark my words. And Zod will
That's
be on the
just
winning
Twitter
side.
war.
It seems with the way the shit goes down, it's very scary times because it's becoming divisive because we are dividing ourselves over stupid shit like this. Like it's a movie. It's a movie made in the 30s. And what they're talking about as the topic of removing it isn't even a big portion of the film. It's like they mixed the fucking point of the movie or the book that it's based on, because that isn't the point of it at all. Slavery has to be in it because that's the subject that the movie covers, but it's not the point of the film. It's not what the movie is about. It's just
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
background
You
setting.
mean slavery has to be in it because of the time period that it takes place in?
I know, holy shit, a story that's a period piece that's actually in the fucking period it's supposed to be in. I know it's crazy in the 2020s because they don't do that anymore. You have fucking Scooby Doo that's supposed to be in I don't know what time period because they have cell phones, but yet it's supposed to take place years before this time. But yeah, that's how we tell stories. So this
Oh
being
shit.
this being historically accurate, oh my God, we can't have that. And we sure as heck can't talk about slavery right now because of everything going on. Someone might get fucking offended. It's
Yep.
absolutely asinine and ridiculous.
Got
And
two
speaking
white
of,
guys here talking about slavery. Oh no.
yeah, I don't
Because,
even want to look
we're not
at the
supposed
likes.
to have opinions about it because we're not black. Except this
Yeah,
is America, so I can have an opinion about everything.
which was kind of funny because we had someone jump in our comments the other night when we were talking about Floyd and made that point. But
Which point? That we're
and
white, we should shut up?
yeah, yeah, that point. And I was
Oh,
like,
well, that's ridiculous. Like, that would be like saying, hey, black people shouldn't talk about white privilege because they don't know what it's like because they ain't white. Like, what? That's just fucking ridiculous.
speaking of ridiculous, let's talk about more ridiculous things to come down the pipeline because we've got
Hold on.
white
Did you
guilt.
see this comment that Jamie Vick put?
No, I switched over to the other article. Oh,
The
okay.
reason the left wants to get rid of history is that they are the party of racism, like the South and the KKK. Which, if you go and look at my Twitter feed, I had a back and forth about that with Shady Sadie in a little bit with LB because he was like, "Well, you know, it's one of them alternative facts." And I was like, "Well, how is this? What's wrong in my picture here, cousin?" He's like, "Well, nothing's wrong in the picture, but the Republican Party of Abraham Lincoln isn't the Republican Party of today." And I was like, okay, well, even if that's true, the Democrat Party of today isn't even the Democrat Party of JFK, and that's only 1960, not 1860. So who's fallen farther off the face of the earth?
Definitely the Democratic Party.
Like if we've gone so far to the right, like they've fallen so far to the left, and it's only taken them 50 fucking years, man. It's taken us 150 years to lose our way, allegedly. Like they're not even what they claim to be right now. Like you
Which
look
is
at the person at the top of the ticket, and he says for months and months, if not years, because, somebody says something about Trump, believe women, right? Believe
mhm.
women, believe women, believe women. Oh, a woman said something bad about me? Well, you don't necessarily. Wait a second, Joe. I've been listening to you for years, not by choice, not by
Yeah.
choice, but I've been listening to you for years. You said believe women. So, how's it feel to be bit in the ass, you dumb motherfucker?
Yep, we knew all that hair sniffing was going to get him in trouble.
Well, you don't hear fucking Trump say stupid shit like that, because he most certainly says stupid shit.
Oh,
Absolutely,
yeah.
I agree. He says stupid shit, but he ain't gonna say something stupid like that. He ain't gonna
Nope.
say something like, hey, if you don't know who you're gonna vote for in the election, you ain't black.
Speaking of stupid shit, let's talk about A&E. So, in the midst of things being pulled and canceled, because as Dave Chappelle once put it, we're living in the canceled culture. Live PD canceled by A&E amid ongoing protests against police brutality and cops as well. A&E has canceled its flagship series and one of the highest rated shows on basic cable. So just think about this. Its flagship series and highest rated show. Because to be honest with you, I don't know what the fuck A&E has on it besides Live PD Cops. I have no fucking clue. Not my jam. I don't know if there's
I feel
A&E
like
fans.
they used to have something that was relatively big. I mean, I don't know how big live PD is compared to like everything else that's on basic cable as far as
Yeah,
numbers, but
I can tell you one thing, and I'm not just saying this to brag about one of the best shows on television right now, The Walking Dead, but I can tell you it didn't have Walking Dead numbers. Just saying. Just saying. So, anyways, a week after
okay.
Live PD was pulled in the wake of George Floyd's death, the reality series hiatus had been made permanent. The decision was made jointly by A&E and MGM's Big Fish Entertainment, which produces the series. This is a critical time in our nation's history, and we have in our nation's history. My life. No one even said that
They've been
about.
saying that for fucking 10 years.
They've never even they didn't say that about the Rodney King beating.
Shit, they've
No one
been
said.
saying that for 14 years, ever since Obama gave his speech in 2006 that propelled him to candidacy. Oh, this is a crucial time in our history.
crucial time in our history. Crucial time in our history. I was like, okay, um, when can we get a break?
I'm tired of crucial times. I just want like a nominally important time. This is a crucial time in our nation's history, and we have made the decision to cease the production on Live PD, the network said in a statement to
Boo.
Deadline. Uh
I said, boo.
huh. Going forward, we will we will determine if there is a clear path to tell stories of both the community and the police officers whose roles is to serve them. And with that, we will be meeting with the community and civil rights leaders, as well as the police department. The cancellation of Live PD comes a day after Paramount Network pulled the plug on other,
Civil rights leaders means leftists.
basically, pulled the plug on other douchery feature, featuring the police. The long-running Cops at the time, A&E was still evaluating whether the show would come back at the right time. Late night Live PD host Dan Abrams addressed the viewers on Twitter. To all of you asking whether Live PD is coming back, the answer is yes, he wrote. All of us associated with the show are as committed to it as ever. We are still discussing some specifics, but I want to assure the Live PD Nation that we are not abandoning you. Ultimately, both the network and the production company on Wednesday came to the conclusion that there were currently no path forward for the show in its current form, as protesters and politicians are calling for police reform following the death of Floyd while restrained by the cops during an arrest. This week, Austin outlets reported on the March
That's a
2019.
weird name. Austin Outlets? Does he play football or basketball?
I think it's
It's a
just,
joke
uh,
guy.
yeah, I know you get me with those sports jokes. Death of Javar Ambler during a police stop, which was allegedly captured by the Live PD crew, but the video has been destroyed. The cancellation comes a month. Now that shit's
Oh, you
funny.
know where that video was, right? It was on Hillary Clinton's server.
the, I wiped the I wiped the it clean like with a cloth. Fucking
Like
dumb
with a
cunt.
cloth?
Yes, Hillary, with a cloth. You have no clue what we're talking about, you lying fucking cunt. Anyways, the cancellation comes a month after A&E renewed Live PD for an additional 160 episodes, airing Fridays and Saturday nights 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Live PD and ad-supported cable's number one show on Fridays and Saturdays in 2019, uh, and has helped A&E become a leading cable network. The series had risen to the top spots in all cable during the pandemic when live sports were suspended, drawing a total of about 3 million views per week. What a bunch of
Not
idiots.
bad. That's not bad at
Yeah,
all.
like you would cancel that show, like
Like
unbelievable.
the production value's got to be relatively cheap. You're just paying a couple of cameramen and then somebody to essentially run the truck.
Live PD was hosted by Abrams with analysis from Tom Morris Jr. and Sergeant Sean Six Larkin. It followed police departments from across the country in real time as they patrolled their towns. Executive producers for Big Fish Entertainment were Dan Cesaro and Lucilia D. Augustone and John Zito.
Is
It
that
was
like Bill Parcells Entertainment?
yeah, I guess is extremely rare for a network to abruptly cancel its highest rated series. ABC did it 2 years ago with Roseanne following the racist tweets by Star
Uh,
Wars Emperor.
yep, can't tell jokes. Comedians can't tell fucking jokes. Unbelievable. Oh, no, 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 continue. Just continue.
When it launched in 2016, Live PD marked a logistical breakdown by being able to pull off a complex live broadcast from multiple locations at a reasonable cost. It launched a whole genre, a live docu-series, and was followed by such shows as MD Live on TNT and First Responders Live on Fox, riding the coattails, but remained the most successful in its field. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Like
Wait,
like
what?
so
What was the second one? Was firefighters,
yeah, by
and then the
Fox.
third one was EMTs
Yep. They did
or
one for every
medical
emergency.
staff, or
Yeah,
so was it people out driving around, or were they in like a hospital?
they were driving around like
Okay,
ambulance.
well, obviously people are going to want to watch live PD the most because they're the only ones carrying guns.
So I mean, here's the thing. You know, I think that this is just ridiculous, and I think right now
You don't,
Fox.
you don't see a lot of drunk drivers at a fire.
No, no. I mean, you do catch the occasional drunk person or drug addict at the time, but
Occasional. Like you got to cook your meth.
I mean, here's the thing. This is just ridiculous, and this is an example of these people making rash decisions because they canceled their highest rated show. They had nothing, A&E had
Yes, they
nothing but fucking.
canceled it temporarily until they can figure out how to rig the show so that they can only be arresting majority white people so that they're not solely focused on arresting black people all the time. I didn't watch the
Yeah,
show, but I can look at numbers.
and here's the thing with cops, the worst people on that show were the fucking white people. I mean, you had them in fucking
Right. Like
trailer
with
parks.
cops was different because that was something where they would take like all of the footage and then you'd be watching it after the fact. So they could, you know, piece it together like, tonight we're doing drunk drivers, tonight we're doing drug busts or whatever. Like you could have a special shit like that. They could do a weekend thing. Like they had shit that they could do, whereas live PD, they didn't know what was ever going to happen on that show, which is the draw to it. Like that's like the ultimate live stream, guy. Like you could see someone die.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. There
Like
were some pretty fucking crazy episodes.
that's what I'm saying. Like something goes wrong, like, oh, we're gonna pull this guy over for the routine traffic stop, and it's not a routine traffic stop, and the freaking police officer gets shot in the face, and everybody sees it because it's live PD, man. You'll never see that on cops ever.
Nope. And even they got the X. I mean, this is just, this is just
Ridiculous.
ridiculous.
32
It is.
fucking years for cops, and they're like, oh, we arrest a lot of black people on our show. And I was like, yeah, that's what the numbers tell us. Like, you read the fucking paper, like that's what the numbers are going to tell you too. You going to stop publishing papers?
I mean, this has just reached a level of ignorance that I don't believe I ever thought I'd see. Like,
Oh shit.
and
Purpose
I mean,
in the chat. How about you join us, Guy, for this topic?
No, because Perp is in the middle of a routine stop right now.
Oh my God, Guy.
Too soon?
Never too soon. It's never too soon for a joke, ever. Like if you think it's in poor taste, that's fine. I don't that whatever.
I mean,
Like there's plenty of people out there that are going to be offended by bad jokes or jokes that are allegedly in poor taste, no matter when they're said, because they're said about a dead person or a group of dead people, blah, blah, fucking blah. So, best to not get hung up on people who get offended at jokes because they're jokes.
But see, that's the thing. This is the whole point of tonight's topic. This is the whole discussion. Is people being offended by movies, by
Yeah,
media,
but I
by
thought I was
comments?
told, when the fuck did we turn into Canada?
Those are the nicest fucking people in the world. They just bump into you and they say sorry. Try that shit in New York. You bump into
Yeah,
someone.
except then they'll cancel you when you're not looking.
Fuck, I mean, this might be our last live stream. I might go to post something on the channel and then be like, you're pulled down because you're a white Kryptonian, even
Like,
though I am
being
part
in
of the
America
minority.
doesn't mean that you are afforded the right to not be offended.
You know, here's the thing, too, and we bring this back to comedy a lot. Comedy used to be about actively offending people to make light of a touchy situation so that, oh my God, we can fucking talk about it. And now anything, anything you want to bring up is under constant scrutiny because we've got feelings involved. We've got people's feelings, their fifis, they're feeling so hurt because we're talking about something that happened 100 years ago. Oh my God. In the oppression. I'm sorry. People are doing pretty good, barring the pandemic. People are doing pretty reasonably good.
I
I
mean, you
went
don't
down
even have
south.
to bar that unless you're talking about the people that can't make no money because of the pandemic, but I get what you're saying.
Okay, let's go. I took a trip to the south. Okay, I didn't go by and see any plantations about. I didn't see people fucking picking cotton. I didn't run into anybody oppressed. Did I meet some racist fucks? Yeah, I did. A lot more that I care to be comfortable with. But you know, it's still it people inherently, and if you tell me you don't, you're full of shit. People inherently have biases. It's part of human nature. And to not talk about it is to just deny that you have a bias of some kind. Like me, personally, I'm not particularly fond of the Arab community. Sorry if you're Arab and you're watching.
Oh
I don't fucking
no.
I don't fucking particularly like them because surprise, I was shot by them. So that gives me kind of a different perspective on that culture. Now, am I saying all Arabs are assholes? No, I'm just not particularly fond of the fact that I went down there and I got shot by them. Sorry. And
Right. I'm
they
not
eat fish a lot.
particularly fond of the antlered community because they jump in front of my goddamn car all the time.
Oh, deers are pricks. Yeah. Yeah, they see headlights.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're the only animal in the world that I know of that sees a headlight and instead of fucking moves, they stop dead in their tracks and they fucking look at the light.
Well, no. Occasionally they do move, but it's only if they're not on the road yet. And they're like, now is the time.
They move directly in your path to make
Fuck.
sure you hit them. So, yeah, but I mean, you know, everyone has inherent biases. And this is the problem with society today. The media, Hollywood, they all want to pretend. They want to pretend that we weren't assholes in history. Okay, let's track America's history. Everything that we've got you fucking pansies, you fucking rainbow fucking uh idiots, okay? Everything you got now, we stole from someone else. That's America's history. Native Americans were the first here. We kicked them the fuck off their land and we built fucking things going right through. And we said, "Oh,
Right?
we
Yeah,
got some great."
but the Indians stole it from the Indians.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and if you want to get technical, the Vikings fucking marched across here and did the same shit too. People have been
Nobody,
conquering
yeah, but
people.
they were white too, so
Yeah, people have been conquering people for thousands of years. It's the human nature. And now in
I know. And
2020,
people talk
Indian.
about, I mean, if we want to put them together with the first topic, people talk about slavery. Nobody wants to talk about when the Africans were enslaving the Jews. Nobody wants to bring that up. They're like,
No,
oh man, the blacks had it bad. We were slaves in the 1800s, the 1700s, the 16, 15, 14. I was like, okay, yeah, a couple hundred years of slavery. That sounds terrible, awful. I can't even imagine. And then you sit there and you think about it for a second. You go, wait a second. Were you the person, whoever the fuck you're interacting with, whoever the fuck it is, them, were you ever a slave? Well,
no.
no, but my yada 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 was a slave. I was like, fucking it. All of us are related to some slave at some point in history. What?
And if we're talking about mass tragedies, the Jewish community, they were fucking actively actively tracked down and exterminated. You're talking about a fucking holocaust of people, babies being put into ovens by Germany, a mass killing of a race. Okay, I think historically that's pretty fucking bad. I mean, think about it. They the Germans damn near exterminated an entire race. And if we're going with the slavery angle, the Jews were one of the first people to be fucking enslaved by the Egyptians. And I think that is way before we get into African slavery. So someone
Well,
somewhere has been
that's what I
enslaved
was
to
counting as
someone.
Africa. Like Egypt is inside of Africa.
So yeah, you still had that shit going on, but it was a different people. And guess what? Jewish people are, well, I guess you can say some of them were tanned, but for the most part, white. So I
Right?
mean, everybody was
Like,
fucking enslaved to somebody.
Seth Rogen, right? He
Yep,
white,
suffering.
white as hell. That was last week, or was that 2 weeks ago? We were talking about
That
him.
that was last weekend. Yeah, last weekend.
Yeah, white, Jew, Adam Sandler, white, Jew. Like, listen to that song. I don't remember last time that I listened to that song that Adam Sandler sings about Hanukkah, and he's listing off all of the freaking Jewish celebrities. They're all white as hell,
Yep, and
except for the ones that are like half Jewish.
their ancestors and their grandfathers or whatever, they still have fucking barcodes on their arms from when they
Yeah,
were
you don't hear
treated.
them. They're like, you know what? My great yada yada whatever, they had it rough, but you know what? I'm in America now. So
And I'm rich
moving
as shit.
forward, everybody else, and I say everybody in the sense of the people who are complaining. So it's actually the majority of it is a lot of white people, at least in Seattle, where they decided to take over their frickin' blocks and kick out everybody. And they're like, we're an autonomous zone. Nobody in, nobody out. I was like, oh, now you want a wall, don't you? Strange.
The irony of it all.
Oh
But
man, these
did you?
fucking people, they're unbelievable. They're like, no walls, no walls, no walls. We need a wall.
Did you want to read that comment by Jamie Vick?
Oh shit. Uh, slavery is still going on today.
Yep, facts.
I mean, yeah,
I
like
mean,
all over the world. I don't know in which countries.
and you know, the funny part is we talk about the people who are free, but we don't acknowledge the people who are still fucking slaves. No one talks about that because it's not the hip, cool thing. No, we've got the shittiest country in the world, but yet you don't get stoned for doing anything wrong here. I don't remember a woman taking off of her fucking veil and being stoned in the street
No,
by
and
some random people.
I mean, nobody rioted in my town when the kid at the trailer park, right? Was that the trailer park or where was Okay, so he wasn't at the trailer park. He was at his house out in the woods. The cops shot him to death. He dead. 9 bullets. He dead. Nobody's rioting over that because he's white.
9 times. Jesus, did he actually have a weapon?
Yeah, apparently he had a weapon that he was allegedly pointing at himself, but I have yet to read any report, so. Oh, apparently the report was in the Green Bay Press Gazette.
So, that's kind of the stupid shit. Now, I want to talk about more media stupid shit because this isn't just now the whole hashtag Black Lives Matters. Now, everybody is going to be attacked for everything that is perceived as some kind of slight against some kind of group. So let's talk about one of my favorite books, but
That's
the
because
author's kind of
everything is a slight against everybody.
but the author has kind of fucking lost their mind. J.K. Rowling reveals sexual abuse and domestic violence in an open letter defending transgender comments. J.K. Rowling has revealed experiences of surviving domestic abuse and sexual assault in a lengthy personal essay defending her comments on transgendered people. The Harry Potter author received widespread public criticism earlier this week after mocking a headline about people who menstruate in tweets that attract accusation of transphobia. How they jumped to that, I have no clue. In her open letter, Rowling addressed the backlash and accusations that is a TERF, trans exclusionary racial feminist. Fuck. Before breaking down her stance on transgendered issues.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who's a feminist? Whoa, 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 whoa. Pause, pause, pause. We have
It
been called bitches by a mythical creature. Hello, bitchy.
hello. Oh, and
That's hurtful and hilarious.
so the term I've never heard of is called TERF, trans exclusionary racial feminist, or I'm sorry, not racial, radical feminist. Before breaking down her stance on transgendered issues, she said she had chosen to share her experiences out of solidarity with the huge numbers of women who have histories like mine, who've been slurred as bigots for having concerns around single sex spaces. After more than 20
For
years
having
in the
what?
public, I shit you not, single sex spaces. Okay. After more than 20 years in the public eye, she said
Like a
she has
bathroom?
chosen, I guess, she said she has chosen to write about her allegedly violent marriage. Now, not for sympathy, but to explain her trans rights position. How those two
Oh,
connect, I have
God.
no clue. Suggesting that trans
What do you
women
need a
can.
trans right for? All you are is the other person, allegedly. What do you need a
Uh,
trans right? What the fuck is a trans right? Do you know what it is?
I, I, I didn't even know what turf was. So I
Trans
didn't know that
rights.
was.
I need to be able to use the bathroom of my choice. And I was like, I need to not give a fuck.
But violent marriage now, not for sympathy, but for trans right position, suggesting trans women can pose a physical threat to those born biologically as women. She also wrote that she was a victim of sexual assault by an unnamed perpetrator. She cited a number of physicians and uh, and psychiatrists to support some of her arguments, stating that we are living through the most misogynistic period I've experienced. Back in the 80s, I imagined a future that my daughters, should I have any, would would have it far better than I ever did. But between the backlash against feminism and a porn saturated online culture, I believe things have significantly worsened for girls, she said. Never have I seen women degraded and dehumanized to the
Like regular
extent they are now.
girls, trans girls,
She's all
freaky
over the
deaky
fucking place.
girls. Like,
I,
I
I
don't
have,
fucking.
oh my God,
Like,
this
when
gets
you
better.
start having to identify these things, you need to continue to identify them when you write your fucking article or when you're quoting whoever. Like, if this is still part of the fucking quote, like, whoever the fuck is talking is being fucking not sensitive to whatever the fuck they're talking about. Huh?
Yep, this is JK. She's still going on, and she's all over the place with this. Like, I have no clue what the fuck you're advocating for here. Never have I seen women degraded and dehumanized to the extent they are now, she wrote. From leaders of the free world's long history of sexual assault accusations and his proud boast of grabbing them by the pussy to the incels
Yeah, he
movement.
also said that he could walk into frickin' what the hell was it? God, where the hell? He said he could walk into Times Square and shoot somebody and not get convicted of murder because people love him. Like, he says ridiculous shit all the time. I said that like 10 minutes ago.
The movement
Like,
rages
he
against.
didn't say that he did do it. He said that he would like to do it, unlike some former president, Bubba
Who did do it. The movement,
William Jefferson Clinton.
the movement
You know, he
that
used to have a law license.
the movement that rages against women who want or who won't give sex to the trans activists who declare that TERFs need punching and re-educating men and women in the political spectrum seem to agree women are asking for trouble. Everywhere, women are being told to shut up or to down or else.
What?
What?
That's ridiculous. Who is Nobody is telling them to fucking sit down. They're telling them to go in the kitchen and make a sandwich. Like, is she not paying attention? Like, pay
Fucking
attention,
Rowling.
JK. Like what?
JK's off the
Where are
fucking
these
deep end.
people? I would love her to cite one source where somebody in power was like, "Hey, you woman, sit down and shut up. The men are speaking." Like, where the fuck does that happen? Especially where
Oh,
the fuck she's going. Like, she's fucking loaded. She must have been fucking loaded when she was fucking giving this interview.
Rowling has previously faced criticism after voicing her support for researchers who have been sacked after tweeting that transgenders could not change their biological sex. Well, they can't. They can't. It's
No, you
science.
can't. You can't change your chromosomes. Not yet.
Unless you, to
Not
quote
yet.
Watchmen, your favorite movie, unless you're Dr. fucking Manhattan, you cannot change your molecules. You're not a fucking superhero. It doesn't work that way.
He doesn't have chromosomes anymore.
He does, but he can like reorganize his
He can
chromosome.
reorganize his particles
Yeah.
from testicles to ovaries and then give birth.
If he so choose, that's kind of creepy to think about. I'm glad they never made a comic on that, but give them time, they will.
Well,
But
now
yeah.
they have the idea. Aren't they woke?
Next thing you know, oh Jesus. I haven't written this essay in the hope that anybody will get out a violin for me, not even a teeny weeny one, Rowling said, adding that she was just bringing up personal experiences of abuse that have shaped her beliefs. Um, yeah. Um, I'm extraordinarily fortunate I am a survivor, certainly not a victim. I've only mentioned my past because, like every other human being on this planet, I have a complex backstory which shapes my fears, my interests, my opinions. I've never forgotten the inner complexities when I'm creating fictional characters, and I certainly never forgot it when it comes to real people. All I'm asking, all I want, is for similar empathy, similar understanding to be extended to the millions of women whose sole crime is wanting their concerns to be heard without receiving threats of abuse. Among those who speak out against the author earlier this week were former Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts star Daniel Radcliffe and Eddie Redmayne.
He was in
Ivana Lynch.
Fantastic Beasts?
No,
Or
Daniel
they're just
Radcliffe was.
grouping the two of them together?
They're grouping them together because they are Harry Potter fans. Um, Ivana
Oh.
Lynch, who played Luna Lovegood from the Harry Potter films, said she was saddened by Rowling's views on transgendered people. I hate to tell you, Luna, but you haven't fucking done a thing since that movie, so you need to shut the fuck up. I disagree with her opinion.
Okay, so now we found out where the man is telling the woman to at least shut up.
But I'm a
Found
dictator,
him.
so I'm a dictator. This is to be expected from a villain.
I know,
I
we're
just
in the fandom zone, so it's appropriate.
I disagree with her opinion that, oh Jesus, cis women are the most valuable minority in this situation, and I think she is on the wrong side of the debate. But that doesn't mean she's completely lost her humanity. What? She added, I'm sorry to any trans people who feel that they have been taken away from or that this community is no longer a safe place. But Harry Potter world fandom community is literally made up of millions of people now, and I, for one, will work to make it feel more inclusive because trans women
Ah,
are women. Redmen, who starred in two Fantastic Beasts films, May There Never Be Any More, of the Harry Potter prequel series, tweeted, that he and his transgender friends from college were tired of the constant questioning of their identity. Trans women are women. Trans men are men. Non-binary identities are valid, said
Oh, what
Raymond.
a wait. So that was that was the problem that I always had with them talking about themselves. If you are a woman who wants to be a man or a man that wants to be a woman, why would you identify as a trans either one? Why wouldn't you just be a man or a woman? Like they want to be a trans man or a trans woman so that you do look at them differently because the majority of them are doing it to seek attention because it's some type of fucking mental disorder. Because
So
ain't nothing going on appropriately in your brain if you want to chop your fucking dick off.
and welcome, Meow Cat. Um, you know, so here's the thing about this, and JK made a fatal mistake. JK came out and she stuck up for certain things for these wacky, fucking crazy people, right? And this is how it starts, and certain circles are right about this, right? You agree with one thing, but then your stance, now and forever, has to agree with these wacky fucking SJWs. The minute you step out of their views, then you're attacked. So then you got to
Cancel.
backpedal. Yep. And then you got to backpedal. And first off, let's get to that fucking weirdo from the fucking two Fantastic Beast movies. First of all, those fucking movies were fucking terrible. I don't consider them part of Harry Potter, and you look fucking weird as shit. Okay, have you ever seen that guy? That guy looks like a fucking weirdo to begin with, okay? Why he got casted for the film, I have no fucking clue. But I
Which
digress.
guy?
The fucking main character, he's the one who's speaking out, of course, because he's a fucking weirdo. But anyways, and
Oh, okay.
look
I
at
guess
how
I guess I know what he looks like from seeing commercials and trailers, and I think I know who the main character is. He's
yeah,
kind of
he's skinny,
poor
white.
man's short John Constantine.
Yeah, only I don't really want to put him in that because I don't want to offend Constantine fans. I
That's
have
why you say a poor man's. That's what that means.
he doesn't even really look like Constantine's shoelace. Like,
Okay. Right. No,
but
like the only other person that I know from those movies is the guy who is the main character in Balls of Fury, the fat guy.
yeah. But no, I mean, here's the thing. Uh, you know, so she comes out, she makes this stance, and people who starred in her movies attack her. And this fuck, who's still part of that franchise, who's gotta work with her, comes out and attack. I hope she writes off the character. I hope he gets like killed horribly in the movie. It'd be like, oops. You're like, this wasn't in the book. Yeah, I wrote the book, so I wrote the scene in. He gets eaten by a fantastic beast. But anyways, this is I mean, this is the thing. This is the thing when you start with your pandering, when you start appeasing these people. First off, there is no appeasing them, okay? It's kind of like Germany during World War II. Remember when we tried appeasement? You guys remember how that turned out? We were like, okay, go ahead, take this country. It's like, that worked the first time. Let me go over here and see what happens. And it just keeps on going and going and going. And it's the same thing here. You give these people one thing and they want every other fucking thing in the vicinity. You go, oh, hey, you know what? Okay, we'll give you the gay rights, right? Now they want the LGBTQXYZ plus plus times three squared community represented. Oh my God, you missed the plus sign? You're a fucking bigot. You fucking don't like trans people. And here's the thing. I know people in the gay community and they're like, I don't want to be fucking associated with these people. Like, why are you grouping us? Why are you grouping us in? I just wanna live my life
I'm like,
and be
no,
let the fuck
man, I'm
alone.
just gay.
It's like, I just like carpet or I just like dick. When did we get to non-binary? Like, you know, it's like, and you need a dictionary to read these articles, like cisgender, non-binary, 000. I mean, what the
Dude, I didn't know
fuck?
what the hell cisgendered mean for months when they were saying it. I was like, what the fuck are these people talking about? So I looked it up and I was like, oh, they had to invent a thing because they couldn't just say people that are men and women because you gotta be special because you don't identify as a woman, even though you are still a woman, but you don't want to become a man, so you're some weird form of quilt bag.
So
I don't fucking get it.
you want to read that by Stone Cold Jeremy because he brings up an excellent point that pissed me off in the second Fantastic Beast film.
Okay, after I read that, then you got to go back to the comment that Jamie Vick had at 122. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, Stone Cold Jeremy said, the moment J.K. Rowling tried to pander to the identitarian left, that's a new one. I never heard that word before, by saying Dumbledore was gay, she was fucked. Because the moment she tries to go against their narrative, they eat her alive like piranhas. I like
Absolutely
that movie.
facts.
That's a good movie. Like that.
And
That's a movie that somebody ain't gonna be able to tell me is a bad movie that is like a horror monster movie. That's a good movie.
that 122, what did Jamie Vick have to say?
She said, Jamie Vick said, what is really amazing is that people who advocate for women's rights, gay rights, and transgender rights, and complain about the patriarchy are the same people who believe in bringing people from other countries where the patriarchy is the norm.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. These fucking people who are talking about how bad the United States is, the Brie Larsons, yes, I couldn't go a day without mentioning her. Fuck her, fucking cunt. But anyways, these people who are sitting here and they're fighting the patriarchy, they won't go to the countries where the patriarchy is an actual thing. No, they'll sit here in the US in their fucking $1 billion home with all of their money and send someone else, or they'll send a check and go, oh,
No, they say
but
fuck
we
the patriarchy, and I was like, oh man, so you don't like Sharia law? They're like, what's Sharia law? I was like, that's what I thought.
of course, no. They won't talk about any of the stuff or the barbaric shit that goes on in Africa and things like that. No, or dare say they won't dare go down there because God
I
forbid
mean,
their lives are
what the
threatened.
fuck are they all still doing here? I thought all these people were leaving in 2017.
Yeah, they were all supposed to be going to Canada where the fucking leader there does
Where,
blackface.
right, where
That's so
unicorns
much
and
better.
rainbows are the norm. We only have one unicorn that is the norm here. They have unicorns there.
So, rolling right along with our topic tonight against people pandering and oh, Adidas. Thank God I never brought their fucking sneakers.
No, man, they're too expensive. I gotta be buying them cheap Walmart sneakers. I don't think they have
Nah,
a
fuck that.
brand.
I got me a pair of LeBrons.
Fuck that. What? I ain't got that. You got that. You got that. What? Salt driving truck money.
Brought me a new pair of LeBrons today. I was like, these babies are a winner. Just like LeBrons. Don't make Space
You.
Jam 2. Please don't make Space Jam 2. LeBron,
How
don't
about?
do that to yourself.
How about he just makes the Lakers a winner first?
Yep. He should focus on that so that way when he goes and takes Michael Jordan's role,
Like,
he'll
if
actually.
Space Jam would have came out the year that he won the championship in Cleveland, it would have been spectacular because you'd have been like, yeah, the Warriors are the Monstars. FYI, fuck the Warriors for all time. They play a shit form of basketball anyway. But now that you can't be that guy who's still in the league and then just be on a losing team. Like they were a shit team last year. I know they had a really good record this year before, the planet shut down.
So let's talk about Adidas tweeted against the racism. It's black workers say that isn't enough. Oh, Adidas, you're so brave. You're so stunning and brave. Let's see what the stunning and brave Adidas had to say. Workers are pressing the sportswear maker, Estee Lauder, and other companies to
Estee
act.
Lauder.
Whatever, it's a gay name. To act. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I probably offended the gay
Oh
gender
no.
LGBTQT. There's gonna be Cancer of Zod coming up next. Uh, so companies from Adidas, AG to you said it better, SD Lauder.
Estee Lauder.
Yeah, I won't conform to the fucking apostrophe E bullshit just so I can look fancy. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm gonna
Okay.
call them EL. Face pressures from employees to do more to confront racism and promote, wait for it, diversity as
Oh
social.
fuck.
Yep, we
Wait.
dropped the D word tonight.
Wait.
Woo!
Wait. There's an and diversity and.
Diversity and social activism over the
Oh
killing of
my
George Floyd.
fucking god.
Yep, they
What the
they
fuck
had
is
to.
social activism? That, like, I thought you were gonna say social justice. What the fuck is
No,
social activism? Is
no,
that
I
like
thought it.
occupying several blocks in a city and telling the police and authorities that they're not allowed in?
I guess we'd have to
Well,
ask
fuck.
EL as it moves deeper into the workplace. Following the killing of Mr. Floyd last month, Adidas, like many brands, took to social media to speak out against racism. Yet some of the black employees at the company's U.S. offices say the corporate culture at the German company is far more uh, equitable, huh? Equalitable. I don't know that. Anyways, these statements were echoed at other companies in recent days, from cosmetic sellers to media outlets. And here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. I work at a company where I work with a lot of different races, black, Spanish, all sorts of people. And I've talked to my fellow black coworkers and I've said, hey, what do you think about this stuff going on? And you know what they said to me? They said they're fucking tired of hearing about it. So apparently you're not speaking for the whole fucking black community on this. I talked to my friend. He said he can't even go to the fucking store without, having some bullshit go on with this whole protest nonsense because he lives in
So
Milwaukee.
what? He goes to the store and everyone's like, "So, what do you think about George Floyd?"
And he's like, I don't give a shit. I just want to go and get some fucking milk.
He's like, "Fucking A, man, I just came here to get milk and bread. I don't want to talk about a dead man anymore."
And that's the funniest thing because it just wasn't one person that I've been talking. It's not like I just talked to the one person who happened to be a rational thinker. This is several groups of people who are saying, even the black community or members are saying, I just want to go home or go back and forth through my town without having fucking idiots with signs blocking my driveway. That would be nice.
Oh, I forgot that you had to deal with that issue. I don't have to deal with that issue in the woods.
No, they'd fucking have to find where your driveway is to block it. And good fucking
Yeah,
luck with that,
we
because
don't protest in the woods unless they cancel hunting season. But you can social distance during hunting.
Stone Cold Jeremy, I will not ever put that apostrophe. You get that out of the comments. Let me pull
You
it up.
could fancy up your name, Zade.
Oh my God. Yeah, that would be the quickest way for me to get canceled. They'd be like, are you treating your black workers right? I'd be like, I'm in the fucking fandom zone. We're Kryptonian. We come from Kandor. Okay. Although, I gotta say, just sidebar,
What are you talking
I
about?
I did
Your
like
ancestors are black.
Krypton though. Even though they did swap out a lot of things in that show, General Zod was done well. There was a statue of him in season 2. Favorite fucking season of television ever. Giant statue with saying "kneel before Zod" was like going across the billboards, and I was like, "Oh, we need this! We need this now!" Sci-fi, you made a
How
mistake.
many
You
favorite
canceled one of.
seasons of television do you have?
I mean, but come on, you knew I had to pick that out. I mean, it's Zod. He took over the world, and he has a banner on
He
24
took
hour loop.
over a world.
No, 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 no. The timeline changed. The timeline changed. That was
No,
the
he
world
took
until they changed
over
it.
a world. He didn't take over Earth.
No, they do mention an Earth though. Prime Earth, Earth 1.
Yeah, he didn't take over Earth. He took over a world. He took over Krypton. That's a world. It's not the world.
I mean, it's the only world that matters though.
Oh, yeah, it's so important. It blew the fuck up, and the universe just kept on ticking.
Hey, I tried to warn them. This is what happens when
I
you
try
have.
to warn them. If we keep using resources like we're using them, and you don't shut down Brainiac right now, we're gonna have problems. We're gonna go bang, and then they went bang and created the greatest superhero of all time. Thank you for not listening to General Zod, you stupid fucking Kryptonians.
Whatever, debatable. Zod had all the same powers. Superman
Dude, these are
cheated.
the facts. These are the. All I did was state facts just now. Stupid
Superman
fucking
fucking cheated.
Kryptonians did not listen to General Zod when he told them that we need to not be ruining our planet the way we are, or there's going to be cataclysmic consequences. And there were. And the result of these cataclysmic consequences are the greatest superhero of all time, Clark Kent.
Yeah, debatable. But anyways,
Like, if you need somebody to get the scoop on a story, you can be sure Clark Kent will be second to Lois Lane.
Yeah, and that he'll be saving her from the stupid shit that she's gotten herself into because,
That's right.
you know, she's always got to fucking get herself even when they're fucking married. Ah, how you know how Superman stayed in that marriage? That man should get a fucking badge right there because he deals with problems that no
Dude,
marriage
he's got a
should.
giant badge on his chest.
That's a fair point. But anyways, it's a long fucking article. I'm just gonna give you the highlights here because I don't want to read all this stupid shit. But
Thank God.
basically, long story short, Adidas is they are taking a stance against racism, and surprise, surprise, once again, a company
Not
comes
enough.
out. Yep, they put their foot in their mouth, and now the quote unquote black workers that these reporters happen to find, they were probably upset because they didn't get that raise or promotion or whatever, but they found a majority or a group of unhappy black workers who were saying that Adidas isn't diverse enough because it's a German company. What?
Huh. Didn't know
It,
that they were a German company. I just assumed that they made their sneakers in China like everyone else.
I like to point out they are a foreign company in America hiring American employees. So,
What
I
fucking bastards!
like let's
Fucking
just
cancel them immediately.
so
Like,
let's just
how
analyze it.
dare they bring their money from Germany over here and hire workers?
American workers. Oh my God, those sons of a bitches. What were they thinking? They are
Fuck.
so oppressive at PB. This is the most oppressive
Like, that's what you
company
get,
I've
man.
ever heard of.
That's what you get for thinking that you're doing the right thing for being woke. Like,
And
being woke is never going to work out for you. Ever.
this is the thing.
Ever, ever, ever.
These Hollywood stars, these companies, Hollywood
Hey,
takes.
racism's bad. If racism's so bad, how come you don't have enough black people working for you? Uh, uh, shit. Exactly.
It,
Like, or you could have just kept your mouth shut and nobody would have said anything.
and that's the thing. It's like it has been entertaining watching how this unfolds because every company we have just covered, and I got more wacky shenanigans, don't worry, but every company we have covered, every person we've talked about so far that has come out and taking a stance for being equal and inclusive, have all come under fire for supporting a cause that people apparently or supposedly want people to support, but they get attacked for supporting the cause. So why the fuck are we supporting this cause? Like, so you're telling me you want equal rights, but then when we come out saying, hey, yeah, we should give this group some rights, you fucking attack them.
Yep.
uh, that is stupid and counterproductive to your whole argument. Like, is the point of this movement not to gain any traction? Because they're doing a fuck up a great job.
Well, I'm sure it's the same problem that everybody has, at least everyone that has the problem, because not everybody has the problem. People, when I say that, I always have to qualify it that way, or else people will say, well, you're talking about everybody. I'll be like, no, I was only talking about the people in this specific group, this little subsection. Only the people with this problem, like the ones that are upset that Shaq runs Papa John's because Papa John said the N word back in the day. And they're like, oh, now Shaq's just a sellout. And I was like, Why is Shaq a sellout? Because the other guy is gone, and now he's on the board of directors, and he's in control of marketing. Like, because he wants to make money and he wants to turn a company around, that makes him a sellout because somebody else that was there before him isn't there anymore, said something years ago.
And
Like,
that's where it's
wow, that's some 4D chess, motherfuckers. Like, what are you upset about? You need to fucking get over yourselves. Like, we're talking
and
about pizza.
and and that's the thing. It's like they these people, and I mean the people that we're talking about, not those people, in case we got one of those sarcastic fucks who will watch this later.
Ooh,
Like, what do
hopefully.
you mean those people? Um, these people, they can't win an argument. So do you remember getting into arguments in, like, say, grade school or high school or whatever, and you have that one person where you lay down a good joke, and then the person's best comeback is, well, you're an idiot, or your mom sucks, or something like that, because they don't have any good thing to come back at you with. That's exactly what arguments are, but now on a large national scale. It's like these people can't win an argument straight up with facts and knowledge and logic. So their best one is, well, you're a racist because back when the company was formed, they said the N word. So anyone who takes this out, or if they're black, they're a sellout, and if they're white, they're racist. Like, really? This is your argument? So I want to change things and make them better, but I'm a sellout. And if I don't want to change things and just keep them the same because, we have good pizza, then, oh no, I'm a racist. It, it's like there's not even a point in arguing with these stupid bastards because you just talk in circles and it comes back to the same things. You're a racist. You're a whatever. You don't like whoever.
Yep.
You're a
And
Republican.
don't let them fool you. Anybody that you hear say the system is racist, they're talking about you. Whoever you are, you're part of the system. All of us are part of the system, no matter which side of the aisle you're on. So if the system is racist, you're part of the system, you're racist. So everybody's racist. White, black, yellow, pink, red, green, purple, even though he's not fucking here, that son of a bitch. He was here for like 10 minutes in the chat. He's killing your retention time, that bastard.
So, and speaking of people who are taking up the fight of equality, let's talk about an obscured person taking up the fight of equality because no one's calling them. Reese Witherspoon. Her phone has stopped ringing, and now she's making the calls. Oh, Los Angeles Times, you guys have the doozy
Oh,
headlines.
she must have used to get all of her jobs through Harvey.
Sitting next to Nicole Kidman in the makeup on the set of Big Little Lies, Reese Witherspoon had questions, loads of questions. What was it like to work with Stanley Kubrick? How did you do your musical numbers in Moulin Rouge? Great fucking movie. I still love it. Reese Witherspoon loves movies. At the age of 44, my God, she looks like that at 44. Okay. Um,
Yeah,
has been
Reese Witherspoon is still hot.
At the age of 44, she has been working on sets 3 decades and enjoys nothing more than digging into film lore. Kidman, though, is more existentially
Then
musing.
getting dicked in film lore? What?
she wanted to explore.
Oh, you
Do you
said digging. My bad.
do you ever think about dying, Reese? Kidman would ask her co-star. What?
What the fuck?
All the time, Nicole. My fucking soul dies when I watch a Nicole Kidman film. Other than Moulin Rouge, I can't stand her. I don't know why, but she falls in that category of punchable faces. I know some women are going to be offended by this, but whatever. We're offending people tonight. Anyways, I fucking hate Nicole Kidman. But that's fucking funny. Could you imagine your fucking co-star looks at you and you ask all these important questions and she goes, "Hey, do you ever think about dying, Reese?" Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Kidman? You fucking wacky bitch. Because, oh my God, it gets darker. She says she would ask her co-star because I think about it all the time. Holy shit.
Hold on, can I answer a question that is in the chat at the moment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jamie Vick asks, why is it that people have to say the N word and can't just say the word, but blacks can call white people cracker and that's okay? It's because crackers are delicious and the others are not.
And so she answers crazy fucking Kidman and she's like, "Nope, I don't think about it because I know where I'm going." Kidman relates over the phone from her Nashville home. "I wish I had her certainty. Reese doesn't fear things. That's for certain." Apparently you do, you fucking crazy bitch. Anyways, hearing Kidman's story, Witherspoon laughs, chalking her faith up to her pesco, you know, that religion. Upbringing in Nashville.
Or what?
Episcopal?
Pentecostal?
No, not Pentecostal.
Okay. Who?
Episcopalian, you know, that one.
Episcopalian?
Yeah, but they don't put that at the end. Episcopal is how they say it. They
Episcopal.
shortened it.
Okay.
Yeah, they shortened it. She went to church every Wednesday and Sunday, singing her heart out in the church chorus for 9 years and loving every minute of it. I don't have I don't have a lot of fear, that's true, Witherspoon says. That's a time and a purpose, a place, and I don't fear death because I know there's a heaven. I know it. Okay, so she's positive. That's
She
good.
read the book.
So here we go. We're getting to the Floyd stuff. That was fucking weird. Nicole Kidman, you need to seek fucking help immediately. Nicole,
Finally, Floyd it up.
we're talking on the phone in May. Witherspoon from her Pacific Palisades, where she's been sheltering in place with her husband, QB exec Jim Toth, her college student daughter, Ava, and her younger sons, Deacon and Tennessee. Okay. The national swear to Christ, she named one of her kids Tennessee. Rock on. The national protest against racism and police violence following the police killing of another black man, George Floyd, are weeks away. At this moment, all I'm wondering is how Witherspoon can be so certain about the afterlife. Why are we connecting? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. It'd be nice to feel sure of something right now because it's so bad out there. My daughter asked me that the other day, and I'm like, I don't know. I just know. Witherspoon says, I believe deeply that there's a higher power, and I don't know what it is, but I don't fear dying. A lot of people have these uh, reprehensive experiences with religion. I don't. I felt this incredible acceptance and that everyone has a gift and we're all God's children, and your purpose in the world is to find that gift that God has given to you. Unlike the entitled women she's played on Hulu's limited series, Little Fires, everywhere, Witherspoon possesses a self awareness about her privilege and position, knowledge forged through 30 years of working in Hollywood, seeing and experience inequalities that made her push for equal pay for equal work agreements, and to start her own media company, Hello Sunshine, to, among other things, tell stories about women, all kinds of women. I've never forgotten I had financial advisors tell me you need to start saving. I was like 37 and he said you need to start saving right now because you're going to be making drastically less money in your 40s. Basically, you're not going to have much of a career, Witherspoon remembers. And he apologized and his apologizing, but not really. I'm sorry to tell you, but somebody has to be honest. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. It had me in a panic state. I asked what happened to the financial advisor. Oh, I fired him, Witherspoon answers quickly, laughing. I don't need that kind of. She pauses for the right words. Witherspoon likes to be precise, and as she's grown older to understand, why are you giving a subtext to the conversation? Jesus Christ. Uh, I believe in abundance, Witherspoon continues. I believe creativity is endless. I mean, I can get on the phone with Dane Lade, and she can talk for 2 hours about creativity, and everything she says is spot on. There's something inside artists and actors and filmmakers that's insatiable. And if you are one of the lucky ones, as I am now, you get to put those things on their feet and see them be made. I feel really lucky every day. Three of those projects he produced: season 2 of HBO's Little Big Lies, Apple's TV series The Morning Show, and Hulu's Little Fires Everywhere, ran this past year. A bounty that would have knocked Witherspoon's financial advisor sideways. Then again, Witherspoon never would have envisioned this bounty a couple of years ago either. But after meeting with every studio and head in Hollywood, asking what projects are being developed for women and finding the answers unsatisfactory, we're doing one movie for a woman and we can't have two, was one response. Witherspoon took matters into her own hands, founding Hello Sunshine in 2016 to develop female-driven projects. I wasn't getting calls, and
Yay.
I wasn't getting calls, and I'm still not. The phone's not ringing. If Nicole and myself aren't doing this work, or Kerry Washington, or Charlize Theron, or Margot Robbie, or Lauren Dorn, we're working hard to create a surplus. We have to give each other ideas to produce for each other because no one else is thinking of us first. Witherspoon says she felt that accurately after she won her Oscar for playing June Carter Cash in 2005's film Walk the Line, an achievement that, instead of opening up opportunities, left her feeling frozen for several years. She likens the time uh, to a scene in Fleabag where Phoebe Waller-Bridger goes to confess and begs the priest for direction. Jesus Christ, this is long.
Oh my God. You just looked at the headline and was like, yeah, we'll talk about this again. And you didn't read it at all, did you, you son of a bitch?
Come on, this General Zod. Read.
Okay. So, cut to the
But
chase. What is the chase?
long story short, she's created this company for the thousands of years of women's lost stories. She was thinking of how she could represent this marginalized group.
Whoa.
And
Lost Stories. I remember being a kid and I remember watching the Disney classic Pocahontas. What Lost Stories?
oh, what's up? We have the real reviews here. What up, Chris? We were talking about how Reese Witherspoon is fighting women being marginalized in Hollywood. They weren't
That's not
calling
what
her.
he was asking about, just so you're aware. He was asking about the misreadings that you had earlier, because if you've seen the comment previous to that, he said, PB, he can read better, it seems. LOL. So I said, you missed it. And he said, what did I miss? So I said, Episcopal.
hey, to be fair, they cut out half that word. But
Sure.
anyways, um, here's the thing though. I'm kind of torn about this because unlike most actresses, I could give Reese a pass on some of these comments because she just didn't say women aren't getting parts. This is terrible, and then make a dress with all the directors' names on it. She 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 decided she opened up her own company, started getting pretty famous female actresses to star in these roles and female directors to direct the roles because remember we were talking about
Ooh, she got
Natalie.
Elizabeth Banks.
No one's going to touch Elizabeth Banks unless they want their product to fail. But I mean, she did give females an equal opportunity, but Stevie J makes a good point when he says, I like Reese Witherspoon, but I'm just wondering if men face the same level of competitiveness. I would think so. And yeah, this is the thing. Like, sure, you have older men actors who might have more staying power. I mean, you have your Jack Nicholas or Clint Eastwood, or I'm sorry, Nicholson, or Clint Eastwood, or any of those, but there's still very few men who could pull off that look. I mean, Kevin Costner made his
No,
comeback with
Jack
that.
Nicklaus still had competition. I mean, he was a great golfer, but he had competition.
And so did Nicholson. But I mean, you still have the older
No,
male
every even
actors.
nowadays, everybody has competition except for The Rock.
Yes, no one compares to the great one, the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment today, the people's champion and the people's choice, The Rock. Anyways,
The great
um,
one.
the great one, the one who will kick anybody's Rudy Poo candy ass. That's right, The Rock. But no, um, this is the thing. I do and I can respect some of where she's coming from because she's just not talking. She's got a very strong faith, and I am Christian, so I can get down with most of the stuff she was talking about there. I respect the fact that she talked about how she leaned a lot on religion because Hollywood tends to frown upon that. Let's be real. They don't like to dig into that. So I can respect that angle of the argument too, and how she found, faith and how she invested her money. These are all smart things. But a lot of actors and actresses make the mistake of thinking they're going to be on top forever. They don't invest their money like Reese did, and they wind up losing money. Not because they're a man or a woman, but because they made
But
poor fucking
because they
choices.
suck. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
or they invested poorly, or they didn't invest at all. So when their career takes the inevitable backslide and they're forgotten, they don't have anything to show for it. So now they're forced to do fucking commercials or whatever they can because they need the fucking money. I mean, it's a combination of all sorts of things. It's not just equal pay, equal rights, and all that other bullshit that they're always talking about. But you can make less money
That's
and
some
still come out
quality
on top.
bullshit. It's
Yeah,
amazing what you can get people to believe by just giving them numbers that aren't actual fucking numbers. Like, wait a
yeah. How
second,
many
you're
times?
telling me that the guy who has been a janitor at the tech company and the female who's been janitor at the tech company don't make the same wage and they both been working there 10 years? And they're like, no, they get paid the same. And I was like, oh, well, what do you mean they don't make the same? And they're like, well, there was the 1 year where she got pregnant and she took some time off and he works some longer hours. So he makes more. And I was like, wait a second. So he doesn't make more. He just works more. That's not making more. That's working more. There's a huge fucking difference.
Yeah, I mean, if you take into account sick days, corona, yeah, something like that. Because I'll tell you right now, everybody's fucking pay is equal right now, except for me, because a villain's working. But I mean, everybody else's pay is equal. So I mean, you know, if you weren't in a business where you were able to continue to work, then everybody in the world was on the same fucking pay scale. And that proves one thing, that when we all go back to work, it's going to be the same fucking pay scale because everyone's going to be in a shitty ass position. But I mean,
Yep.
even before this, there has, and you could back me up because we've talked about this before, there has been not
Oh,
fucking one shred of proof, not one evidence, not one number that has tracked accurately to this fucking myth that women are getting paid less than men. They say, oh, the numbers show. Where's the fucking numbers? PB, have you ever seen these fucking numbers? I've heard about these fucking numbers. I've never
I,
seen a
I,
spreadsheet.
I've
I've
seen
never
the
seen an
numbers
Excel.
that they talk about, and they are 100% misrepresented because they don't take into account all of the differences. Nobody gives you 1v1 numbers. And even then, it wouldn't necessarily be the same. If we're talking about, let's say, two people who are trying to be a vice president of this XYZ tech company, right? Like, you are going to negotiate your contract with whoever above you or whoever does that at that particular place. So if you're better at negotiating your contract, the woman could end up making more than the man. If she gets a better
And
lawyer,
vice
if she gets
versa.
a better business manager, she could make more than the man, and vice versa. Like, it comes down to individual choices on who can make more money. Like, you're telling me if there's a gender wage gap, that means that the vast majority of CEOs, vice presidents, CFOs, all of these people, anybody who's in charge of hiring people, they all need to be fired because they're doing it wrong, because they're hiring fucking men, which, why the fuck would you hire a man when you can pay a woman 70 some cents on the fucking dollar? I'd hire fucking women up the ass, be like, fucking, hey man, we're saving money like bank. We got fucking 15 women working where we as only could have had 10 men working. Like, we're getting that much more done because we're paying women less. You hear how ridiculous that sounds? There's no fucking way that's real.
No, no, because if that was the case, like you would say, you would see an uptick in that kind of hiring.
let's just use the perfect example is let's use Mexican laborers. Sorry if I offend anyone. Once again, this stream is pretty
Oh no,
offensive. So, why do you think? And I'm going to use the typical stereotype. Why do you think you go to Home Depot to get that person to do your grouting for the side of your house? Because you can
because
pick them
they're
up
not
for a
in the
day.
union.
You can pick them up for the day, pay them whatever the fuck, and they're good to go. Okay, why is it that we have minority workers? Because they fucking work. Okay, the the Mexican workers at these different jobs and these different companies, they will do the
Dude,
shit
oh, I mean,
that I
like,
don't want to
yeah,
do.
at the Home Depot, yeah, the vast majority of them are Hispanic, but there's absolutely a couple white guys there, a couple black guys there. It's not exclusively Hispanic people.
No, I'm talking about the people waiting outside.
Yeah, I know that's what you're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The people waiting outside. It's not exclusively, just the vast majority.
Well, I went about that 7 o'clock in the morning, peak hours. A villain needs his pool done. I'm just saying. Um
Jesus.
on the cheap. Zod had to acquire some labor. Keep it with the topic of slavery. Anyways, I'm gonna get canceled this stream. Go ahead.
You'll be fine.
Hashtag canceled Zod.
So Jamie Vick says, from what I have heard, there was a study that showed that women make around 6.5% more than men do. Well,
and
holy fucking shit. That must
and
come from Vegas and strip clubs.
And Jamie Vick is a female, so I mean, I have a
Yeah, that
feeling
means
she
she
has no.
does her research and she just doesn't rant on emotion. That's me.
Yeah, I have a feeling she's not going to sit there and give us false numbers because she's a fucking logical thinker. So yeah, I'd have to say that even the females that these people are championing for can't be like, no, that's bullshit. Like, okay, for example, bitchy, okay, working one job would have more money than me before pre-apocalypse working two jobs. All right, how the fuck did that shake out? Who the fuck knows? But it did, and I didn't go. White Kryptonian males are making
Dude, she's
less.
robbing you.
probably. I was like, I could have
She's
sworn
still
I had
listening. It's
50s in my
okay.
wallet the
It's
other day.
okay. It's okay. I didn't say that it was wrong. I'm just letting you know what was happening. Like,
Hey, you leave the strip
I'm
club with a
sure
stripper,
that
same thing
you
happens.
got what you were owed in trade.
Oh
That
man.
sounds terrible, but people get over it. Like, you said this was the cancel stream.
Yeah, we're going for the goal. We're going for the gold. They're gonna hashtag cancel me on Twitter because
How many more
everyone
things
who
we
gets
got to talk about? Because I need to take a nap, and so do you, before the stream at 10 a.m. Central Time with Stevie J.
oh, that's all right. So wow, yeah, that's right. We gotta get up at 10 a.m. Shit. So we got um two or three more things here.
Holy fuck.
Let's yeah. Uh Anna Kendrick.
Okay, yeah,
Uh
Twilight. I watched the last scene of the last movie today because when I came back in the house, that's what the woman had on. And I was like, awesome! We got to the TLJ moment. She's like, what the fuck does that mean? I was like, I can explain it. Would you like me to explain it to you, Zod?
Go ahead. I'm interested.
At the end of both movies, like you've been building up in the movie to what you think is going to be this massive conflict between good and evil, between, in that movie, the good vampires, the bad vampires. In TLJ, it's between Kylo Ren and Luke Skywalker, right?
Yep.
Like these are the big things that are going to happen in these movies. And it's a massive build up, massive build up. And you're like, oh shit, it's about to pop off. And then what happens in both movies?
Nothing.
Literally
Absolutely
fucking nothing.
nothing. Yep. Greatest moment ever. But Anna Kendrick says the greatest thing ever, and I love you, and Anna Kendrick, not just because you're amazing in Trolls, but
Yeah,
anyways,
let's do this the short way.
had a miserable time filming Twilight, and it wasn't due to Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. Anna Kendrick played Jessica in Twilight. A little
Sure.
over a decade since the first Twilight movie was released, the actress is now recalling the miserable experience of filming the movie. I just had to bring this up because any time to shit on this movie. Anyways, it has been over a decade since Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart's Twilight was released. While the movie became a rage, Anna Kendrick did not have the best time. The actress is opening up about her experience working on the first Twilight movie. For those who might have forgotten, the pitch perfect star played Jessica in the series. Years after the franchise ended, Anna recalling filming the first flick and said it was a miserable experience due to the filming conditions. In an interview in Vanity Fair, Anna remembered the experience being so cold and miserable. She also joked about wanting to murder everyone because of the whole experience. The Twilight team was filming in Portland, Oregon. I just remember my Converse being completely soaked through and feeling like, this is a really good group of people, and I'm sure that we would be friends in a different time, but I want to murder everyone. She laughed, explaining her experience, but the
But
experience
she's not
brought
going to murder anybody because it was a fucking vision.
but the experience brought the cast closer. Although it was kind of bonding, there was something about it, like you go through some trauma event, like you imagine people who survive a hostage situation. Holy shit!
Oh my
and you're
god.
and
She's
you're kind
going
of bonded
George
for life.
Lucas on these motherfuckers and their white slaving.
Anna also shared thoughts on the graduation speech Jessica delivered in the Twilight Saga Eclipse, the most riveting of them all, and credited Kristen for helping her with the performance. I swear to God, the thing that is happening is that you're looking at Kristen Stewart's reaction to that speech. That's what is moving you. People are like, that speech was amazing. And I'm like, no, that's her. She's a great actress, she said. Yeah. That's way too much credit. I saw nothing great in that movie. Um, Tyler Lautner took off his shirt for no reason, and they're in fucking Portland, Oregon. That rain was probably fucking real. It's fucking a rainstorm, and he's like, "It's so hot." Oh, Bella. And just fucking rip off his shirt. No reason, no context, doesn't add to the story. Just wants to fucking rip off his shirt. Uh, it's even meta because Robert Pattinson is like, does he have to have his shirt off? It's like, yeah, dude, I was thinking the same fucking thing. Why the fuck is he just like ripping his clothes off? And he's not transforming. He's just fucking fixing his bike. No shirt on.
Which movie
Just
is
because
this in?
Every movie, PB, every fucking movie, at least one scene, Tyler Lautner will fucking rip his shirt off.
He's talking about Jacob ripping his shirt off for gratuitous topless scenes. And I said, what movie is this in? And he said,
No.
every movie,
No.
PB. It's in every movie.
No, it's not. It's not in the first one at all, Zod. So suck a fat fucking wolf dick because you don't know what you're talking about.
It's suck a fat unicorn horn. Get it right?
He personally doesn't rip his shirt off. He either A, takes it off, or it rips when he wolfs out. I just watched all of them, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
So, yeah, I watched the end of the last one, and it's real fucking creepy that he wants to fuck a child.
He doesn't want to fuck her yet.
He does want to fuck her.
Yeah.
Not to mention the
Yeah.
fact that the other
He
fucking
imprinted
Indian
on
guy
her.
said, I matured to this at 7 years old. At 7, I was fully mature. So he's going to be fully fucking mature and be a 7-year-old. And then he's going to have sex with a 7-year-old. As a wolf. This whole fucking story is fucked.
See?
Not to mention the fact that I asked her this question, which has nothing to do with Anna Kendrick, so I'm sorry that we're taking the long road now. Anyway, like, allegedly, he's only attracted to this fucking baby, right? Hello?
No, he did some shit, I don't know, imprinting or something. I was
Right,
dozing
like,
when we
he's
watched it the
supposed
second
to be
time.
attracted to this child, and then we're told, well, he was only attracted to her because she was pregnant, except he was attracted to her before she got pregnant.
She still had the egg
Oh, yeah.
in her.
The egg?
Yeah.
She had the egg?
Yep.
She always had
See-
the fucking eggs.
Yep. That's why he was attracted to her.
So he's going to be attracted to the next child too?
No, you only imprint once. Read a fucking book.
Why would I read a fucking book?
I mean, you know, not to mention too, he was attracted to her. That was the whole Team Edward versus Team Jacob. Fucking stupid gimmick ever.
Dude, like, these movies don't make fucking sense.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. I can understand why Anna Kendrick thought she was in hell. She's like, fucking A, man, can we just be done with this already? Because it's stupid as fuck.
I've got to go do a good movie.
Right? Like, she's like, you know what'd be fun? Pitch Perfect. That's a good movie.
And then I'll work
And then
with.
they put the Packers in it. Fucking A, man.
Yep. You don't get much better. Not to mention too, Trolls with my boy JT. I got this feeling. Yeah.
I don't care about that. The Packers were in
it. Yeah. So anyways, that's my thing about Twilight. Even the stars regret that.
Oh no! I just read some of the comments.
Oh yeah. It's bitchy being bitchy.
Said, oh fuck, you added as a wolf, and that made it even worse. Well, yeah, doesn't he get all worked up? Then he wolfs out and he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it now, the rough way.
That is not what happens, you sick-twisted fuck.
I'm not the one who's attracted to a child.
Really? Fucking Stargirl.
Stargirl is not a child.
She plays one.
She does not play a child.
Yes, she does.
No,
she's
you
in
just
high.
asked Will Gentry. You ask Will Gentry, she's not playing a child. He's in England. They play by different rules over there. This is the cancel stream. We're saying stuff.
Tell him what you said. Then tell him what you said about her shirt.
Tell what I said. Oh my god. Oh my god. I wish we could do the fucking screen share because it would be so fucking hilarious. Oh man. So you remember episode 1 of Stargirl?
Yep.
So you know that cherry t-shirt that she was wearing?
Oh yeah.
See? Okay. See, Zod was like, oh yeah, okay. So yeah. I bet there was some people out there that want to pop that cherry.
That is not what you said. That is not what you said, you creepy fucking bastard. You said, I'd like to pop that cherry.
Oh, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, I'd like to pop that cherry. That superhero cherry.
Hey now. You don't want to
Not
mess
my
with her in
fault
that
that
staff.
Stargirl's hot. That's not my fault.
Your fault that you're
I mean-
a creeper about it.
I mean, hey, we were coming from Batwoman. So, you know,
Yeah, Stargirl is hotter than Batwoman.
oh yeah. Yeah, definite facts.
So that's coming from a DC villain.
And I'm a fan of anything DC. And I'm just here to tell you, yeah, they're doing it right over at Stargirl. Good job. Keep writing stuff. It's not a CW product. Anyways, let's go to something that I thought it was canceled, and now HBO is bringing it back because it's relevant, and it won an award because it's relevant. Watchmen, not the movie, the television show, received a prestigious Peabody Award earlier this week, but the HBO series has been on some people's minds for other reasons, including the science fiction concepts that parallel with recent events. The elaborate sequel to Alan Moore and David Gibbs' groundbreaking comic graphic novel of an alternate history weighted deeply in American racial tensions, and specifically in the 1921 riots against African Americans in Tulsa, the city that has been drawn back to the headlines with President Trump's schedule to hold a rally in Oklahoma City on June 19th, a date associated with the end of slavery in the United States after Black Lives
Oh
Matter
man, this is
protests.
terrible. This is terrible. Pause for a moment. Like, I'm losing my mind right now because freaking Rush Hour 3 is on in the background and he took the freaking driver hostage and he's singing the national anthem. And I was like, if I bust out laughing while he's talking about slavery, it's not going to sound good.
It's all right. We're getting canceled this stream. Watchmen began with a jarring reenactment of the Tulsa riots, which played a role in the show's narrative. The present-day plot involved a white supremacist group in an alternate history where Richard Nixon extended his tenure as the president and had given way to Robert Redford as president, which would be fucking amazing. Anyways, when the program premiered on HBO last October, many viewers were unaware of the history surrounding Tulsa. As the New York Times explained, much of that had to do with the violence having recent gained attention from the history textbooks and having been a subject of a shameless cover-up by officials. The program's creator, Damon Lindelof, whose credits include Lost and HBO's The Leftovers, Perp's favorite fucking show in the world. I'd say it'd be that and Attack on Titans battling for number one in his heart. Confessed a similar unfamiliarity to the riots, saying he had first
Did you
learned
just
about
speak for a black man?
I did. There's all
Fucking
sorts of white
villains.
privilege.
Continue.
I consider myself a student of U.S. history. How did I slip?
I'm
How did
trying
this
to
slip?
alleviate my white guilt.
How did this slip through the cracks? He told the Los Angeles Times, I felt incredible shame and guilt. I could have taken that shame and guilt and internalized it, but instead I said, I'm going to put it in Watchmen. Lindoff assembled a racially diverse writing staff, but admitted when the show made its debut that he was nervous about the approach to how race would be received. Like CNN, HBO is a unit of Warner Media. The series proved pristine in other ways. Part of that would do with the vigilante justice and the relationship between the community and the police, who in the show's world wore masks to hide their identity under something called the Defense Police Act and shield them from potential retribution. The show also layered its story on the original story and the ripple effect of the traumatic world-shaking event on the collective psyche. The Peabodys summed up the mixed elements. Looting Watchmen, which is available streaming on HBO Max. The offering is a frank, provocative reflection on contemporary racialized violence and the role of the police.
Watchmen, the TV series.
Yes.
I feel like you need to say that because every time you say Watchmen, I get this rush of fucking negative images in my brain because that movie was terrible.
Your opinion, but anyways,
It
Zack
is
Snyder
definitely
masterpiece,
a correct
and he's got
opinion.
a lot of people would disagree, but moving on.
I mean, a lot is definitely overstating that position.
I mean, still saw critical and commercial success, and considered one of great adaptations of a comic book novel, one of the truest. But you know, just that, Zach got it right, at least with that. Then I don't know what the fuck happened with the DCEU.
You know what else saw critical and commercial success?
No, but I'm sure you're gonna tell me, and I'm sure it's gonna have to do with Batman versus Superman.
No. No, it's worse than that.
Oh, don't say Justice League. Please don't say
It's worse
Justice
than
League.
that.
Oh God, you can't go. Oh, all right. I'm curious now.
I mean, it's 3 words, but you can boil it down to 3 letters.
Okay, go ahead.
TLJ.
No, you can't put any of Snyder's work even near TLJ. I draw the line,
No,
sir.
all I said was it had critical and commercial success because that's where you were putting the bar with Watchmen. Like that's some kind of accomplishment.
Okay, all
for
right.
a
Let me
film.
rephrase that. It at least didn't divide fans whatsoever. It divided normal moviegoers who don't know a thing about The Watchmen,
I
but
don't
it
know a
did not.
goddamn thing about the Watchmen, that's for sure.
Exactly. But as far as being accurate to, yes, I'm going to say it, the source
The source
material,
material.
and as far as being a raw and gritty depiction and showing the human side of superheroes as opposed to them just being Superman, but actually being people, and the depiction of whether it's right or wrong to be a vigilante and producing one of the greatest fucking heroes ever, Rorschach.
Sure.
A lot of people who are in that world love the Watchmen.
Right. Okay. So, like, yeah, Watchmen the movie is boring and it sucks. Whereas all of those things that you just said are also true of the television series The Boys, and that doesn't suck and is not boring. It does all those exact same things. Like those
It
exact same
doesn't
things.
suck and is not boring to you, but if we had Perp on, he would say some crazy statement like it's boring and it sucks, but he didn't get through the
Yeah,
first episode.
because he fucking stayed awake for a day and a half.
No.
He stayed awake for a day and a half and then tried to watch it and then skipped the butt bomb episode. Like, if you're gonna skip the butt bomb, there's no point in watching.
Yeah, and good night to you, Jamie Vick. Don't worry, we're wrapping it up here. But the point I was making here is that okay, so the Watchmen show gets canceled, right? The viewership was down. Now, me personally, I
Good night,
was
Jamie
very
Vick.
mixed. I was very mixed on this show. It had a heavy political leaning. I don't care what anyone says. There was,
Doesn't the
I
movie?
mean, like no, the show. The show made the Rorschach character a kind of like a movement for the white supremacist movement, and I didn't really like that because that's not what Rorschach stood for. But I understand the contrast. He was saying how people take ideas and they twist them.
Oh, that's
Eh,
I feel like I was like not paying attention. There's been a season of The Watchmen. You thought it was canceled, and now it's coming back.
Well, no, it was confirmed canceled by HBO. They canceled it. Now that all
Oh,
this happened, guess what? They are revisiting, bringing back on HBO Max season 2 of Watchmen.
intriguing.
Yeah, and they canceled it. They told all of the cast, go home, get your check. We're done. Nothing to see here. And now they're like, yeah, I mean, you wanted to do a season 2, right? Right. There's some open stories. We'll do a season 2. Why? Because in The Watchmen, they had a story arc about the police. And here's the thing that baffles me because if you really watch the show and the reason why I like the arc about the police and them being attacked was that one side and the other wasn't
Nobody
really
clipped
the
that.
villain. Uh, the the villain of the story, like the head of the police, had actually done some shady shit, and all of the police suffered for the consequences of one person's actions. Sound familiar? But that's not what the media pulled out of it. The media pulled out of it. It's so daring because it shows the police being corrupt, but the show didn't actually show that. It showed how a few people within the police department were corrupt, so the whole entire police department had to wear masks, or them and their family would be targeted.
For
So,
Corona,
so I mean, it's funny to me
because a
how they can write
mask
that.
will prevent you from getting Corona, allegedly.
I mean, I just find it ironic how they pull the exact opposite of what the meaning of the story is supposed to be to repurpose it as a statement for the movement. And of course, the director is going to go, well, sure, yeah, that's what I meant. Because, they're giving him a season 2. So I'd fucking be like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Be like,
Sure.
wait, that's what you need it to mean for me to continue to get paid? Well, fuck yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah, the corrupt are corrupt. We'll dive into that in season 2. He
Yeah,
won't.
cops are bad. That's
But
what
season
they
2,
are. They're bad.
I mean, the show had Michael Ironside too. If you guys don't know, he's a very good at character actor, and he played Ozymandias in the show. Who was
Oh, Ozymandias. Now that's a name that nobody fucking knows, guy.
that's basically in the original Watchmen movie. He was the main villain who set everything in motion. In
You
this
think I
one, he's
remember that fucking movie?
well. Anyways, the
The
point being,
man
he
with
was
no face. There's a man with no face.
Yeah, it's this Rorschach. It's a Rorschach painting. It's mass fucking changes
Sure.
to the ink blog of the Rorschach. Whatever. You know what? You just don't understand the
What a
complexities of the
superpower.
narrative. He doesn't have a superpower. He's like Batman if Batman killed people. You know, Batman and BVS.
He's like Batman if Batman sucked.
Once again,
Fucking A, like
your opinion.
you try to compare Rorschach to Batman right now
That's
with
what
a bat
Rorschach's
and
character
all
was.
kinds of toys and
That's
being
what
trained
Rorschach
by
had
the
in the
League of
movie. He
Assassins
literally,
and the Demon's Head himself. Like what?
he literally had stuff he crafted just like Batman. He had a
And who the
fucking
fuck
gas
trained him?
traveling.
And who the fuck trained him?
The streets, PB. The streets.
Right, the streets. The streets trained him. So Batman would walk up and be like, okay, boom, you're dead. The streets don't train you to fight the fucking League of Assassins.
Well, you know what? He'd win because Dr. Manhattan is like God.
Well, they got a god. It's in Rachel's fucking forehead.
No, Titans, different group. Titans have a god.
He's on the show.
It doesn't matter. He's not going to call up the Titans. He's Bruce Wayne. He looks at the Titans as like the B team.
Yeah, but that god could escape. He's gonna escape.
He probably will. We don't know what's going to go on. But anyways, yeah, we definitely are going to cut this short because I almost forgot that I had to get up at 10 for Stevie's stream, which thankfully is a lot later than when I get up for work. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely let's wrap this up so that everyone, if you are here,
Cool.
if you're going to rewatch this, you can
Dude, this
go
is the cancel stream.
Oh, that's right. This might not be
I
up,
just
but if it
tweeted
is,
it out, man.
but if it's still on by some miracle and we haven't been canceled, yeah, we'll be over at Stevie's stream over at Stevie J Reviews. 1K. Stevie has lapped us all.
He's
Twice.
1K Stevie J.
1K Stevie J. Definitely go over there. Show him some support. It's great. Also, me and Stevie J are going to have a movie talk, and we're going to be talking about Bad Times at the El Royale. Haven't heard of the movie? Yeah, a lot of people didn't because Disney released The Lion King, and no other fucking movie was as important as The Lion King being raped in the ass. So, thank you, Disney.
By a wolf.
By a wolf. And thank you, Disney, for drowning out a great movie. And we will explain why this is a very good movie and everyone should see it. Why wouldn't you want to see Chris Hemsworth in one of the only movies, because I don't count Ghostbusters, where he plays a bad guy? He plays a villain, and not only plays a villain, but he does a damn good job. He reminds me of like John Travolta in Broken Arrow. He's like that kind of a villain. He's like over the top, kind of creepy.
How about John Travolta in Face Off?
Oh God, that's that movie. That movie is so great. And that's like two, because John Travolta plays a villain, but Nicolas Cage was the villain in the first half. So essentially, they both play good guys and bad guys. No one realizes how
Dude,
great
it's
that movie
not
actually
a
is.
half. It's like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and then the last end of the movie, he's Nicolas Cage again is the bad guy.
For how long?
Well, let's see. He's a bad guy in the beginning, and then they have the whole
For like
scene.
20
And
minutes. Like John
Yeah.
Travolta is the bad guy, playing a good guy. Well, technically.
And Nicolas
Like
Cage
he's
is the bad
double
guy, and then he
agenting.
plays a good guy. It's all confusing. It's only an hour and a half movie too. It's back in the
It
days
is
when movies
not an
weren't told.
hour and a half, you lying sack of shit.
Yeah, it is. It's not. It's definitely not a 2 hour movie. I could be off, but not by much. It'd be like an hour and a half, an hour 40 minutes
Yeah, you
somewhere
were
in there.
way. Yeah, I don't believe you on movie times ever since Dark Phoenix. So never again.
Dark Phoenix felt like a. Don't get me started on Dark Phoenix. Fuck Dark Phoenix and fuck that guy because he should have never did it in X3, and then they should have never gave him the next fucking movie. The same guy
No,
who
like
ruined
why?
the
Like
Dark Phoenix.
the same amount of screen time. Why didn't they just take the comic and make the fucking movie or the comic, the cartoon, and make it like the cartoon? Like I didn't know any of them characters. I was like, who the hell are these people? This is ridiculous. This is great.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
was like,
that proves
the
once again you can't do it
Emperor.
like the '90s.
He doesn't shoot lightning out of his fingers that kills himself. Spoiler.
We're doing people a favor, but anyways, PB, you got anything you wanna plug before we get on out of here?
Prophets of Geek Culture. Go there, check it out, watch some videos. There's going to be more stuff on it soon. I swear to God, there's going to be more stuff on it soon. One of these times, it's not going to be a lie. And then, yeah, you can go to my channel, Pop Culture PB, and watch the review that I have out for the most recent episode of Stargirl. It was the worst one yet, and it
Ah,
was still good.
speaking of reviews, I'll be doing my Penny Dreadful uh episode 8. We have 3 episodes left, and shit is getting intense. There's gonna finally be supernatural shit. I've been waiting
They're
8
going
episodes.
camping?
No, there's going to finally be some supernatural stuff. I can't wait to review this episode. It's pivotal because there's only 3 left, so shit's gonna
So
go
what are
down.
they doing if they're not going camping? What are they doing in the tents?
Who knows? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, you said it was getting intense.
Well, they're moving the tents. They're in the fucking Blair Witch Project woods. I don't know. Fuck, man.
Oh, that movie terrified the shit out of me when it came out. I was just a boy.
Oh yeah, yeah. That movie.
Anyway,
That movie
is
was
that all you
scary.
got to plug? I feel like you're gonna plug like a dozen more fucking things.
Actually, no, I just got Penny Dreadful and my review with Stevie J. Oh, and I'll have a breakdown on Seven Deadly Sins. And we've got some news. I was wishing Perp was here because he'd be ecstatic, but we are getting a crossover with Attack on Titans. So there'll be
No,
characters.
only Perp's beard is here.
They're going to cross over Attack on Titans with Seven Deadly Sins and have unlockable characters for each. I will be covering that. I'll probably spend an exorbitant amount of money that will get Pitchy pissed off.
Yeah, you will.
But I am playing some stuff free, and I've saved up stuff I brought. So I'm going to spend a shitload of my in-game currency that I've accumulated for this event. I can't wait. So, anyways, here we go. It is that time. Everybody, remember the only rule here in the fandom zone: Black Lives Matter.
Fucking A, protest appropriately.